The sun was shining on the playground of the high school affiliated to a university, and the lunch break bell had just rang, and students poured out of the classroom like wild horses. Lu Zhe was huddled by the old warehouse in the corner, with a worn sketchbook spread out on his lap and the pencil in his hand dancing rapidly. He painted a picture of a masked hero smashing giant beasts with his fists. The lines are rough and full of explosion. "Hey, Lu Zhe, are you drawing your garbage comics again?" A careless voice came from the side. It was Li Kai, the gangster leader of the class, who came around with a few followers. He grabbed the sketchbook, flipped through 2 pages, and laughed loudly. "What is this? A hero? You are as good as a 3-legged cat, but you still want to be a cartoonist. Go home and draw pornographic books." The followers burst into laughter, and some even stepped on Lu Zhe's shoes. Lu Zhe lowered his head, clenched his fists, and felt overwhelmed. What do these guys know? Sooner or later my hero will make you kneel and watch. But now, he's just a scumbag that no one cares about. He forced a smile and reached out to take back the notebook. "Give it back to me, Li Kai." "Return? Why?" Li Kai threw the notebook into the trash can and walked away. Trash should stay in the trash heap. Lu Zhe picked up the dirty sketchbook, dusted it off, and gritted his teeth. Campus life should be dull, but strange things have happened frequently recently. Several students have disappeared mysteriously, and there are rumors that there is a dark shadow haunting the mountains behind. The teachers kept silent and thought it was just a prank. But Lu Zhe vaguely felt that something was wrong, especially his childhood sweetheart Bai Ning, who always liked to go for walks in the back mountains recently. He shook his head and walked towards the back mountain path. The shadows of the trees are dancing, the wind is blowing, and the leaves are rustling, as if they are whispering secrets. Suddenly, something hard was kicked under his feet, an ancient pocket watch. The clock face was engraved with strange runes. The needle moved very fast, pointing to midnight like a countdown. What the hell is this? Lu Zhe picked it up, his hands were cold, and an electric current coursed through his body. Pictures flashed in his mind: hero transformation, time reversal, urban crisis. Hallucination? Impossible, this feels too real. He tried to press the crown. The pocket watch buzzed, heat surged in his chest, and his body changed faintly, his muscle lines became stronger, and his vision became sharper. Just then, a scream came from the front. "Ah, help." Lu Zhe's heart tightened. That was Bai Ning's voice. He rushed out of the trees and saw Bai Ning wrapped in a twisted black shadow in the clearing of the forest behind him. The black shadow squirmed like ink and flung towards her like tentacles. Bai Ning's school uniform was torn, her face was pale, and her gentle eyes were full of fear. "Lu Zhe, run!" The black shadow roared, the air twisted, and the surrounding trees withered. Bai Ning struggled to retreat, staggering, and was about to be swallowed up. Lu Zhe's mind was buzzing. Damn it, I can't do anything. Just watch her die like this. No, I am a hero. He subconsciously clenched his pocket watch and roared, transform. Light bursts. Lu Zhe's body was wrapped in golden light, his school uniform turned into a tight-fitting suit, a helmet covered his face, and his hands ignited energy gloves. Power surged in like a tide, and he felt like he could break mountains with one punch. This is my power. The black shadow noticed the strange movement, and several tentacles rushed towards it, carrying a corrosive wind. Bai Ning screamed, "Be careful." Several students passing by also heard the noise, peeked their heads in and stared wide-eyed. What is that? A monster? And that masked man? Lu Zhe jumped up, smashed the tentacles with his fist, and the explosion echoed through the forest. The black shadow roared in pain, and more tentacles gathered into giant claws and struck down, the ground cracked, and dust flew up. Bai Ning collapsed on the ground, with tears in her eyes. It's impossible, why is he so strong? Get away! Lu Zhe roared in his heart, punched with both fists, and energy waves blasted out like cannonballs. The black shadow's body exploded with ink, screaming and shrinking. He grabbed Bai Ning, jumped up to the treetop with a light jump, and looked down at the black shadow. "You monster, how dare you touch her?" There were more and more students watching, and some people rubbed their eyes. Did I see it wrong? That guy knocked the monster away with one punch. Oh my God, is he a hero? Is this happening on campus? Quickly take a video. Their voices were trembling and full of shock. Some people dropped their mobile phones on the ground and forgot to pick them up. The black shadow was unwilling to give up, gathered its last strength, and turned into black mist and shot arrows. Lu Zhe protected Bai Ning, his armor unfolded as a shield, and the arrow rain shattered. He threw a backhand uppercut, and the core of the black shadow exploded and dissipated into black smoke. Silence returned to the forest, leaving only scorched earth and breathing. Bai Ning leaned in his arms, her soft body trembling slightly, and looked up at his masked silhouette. Thank you, thank you. Who are you? Why did you save me? Her voice was soft, with the familiarity of Qingmei, but also strange. Lu Zhe's heartbeat quickened. Can't be exposed. She'll be horrified. He gently put her down and whispered, remember, don't come to the back mountain again. The figure flashed, jumped into the woods, and disappeared without a trace. Bai Ning stood there blankly, pressing her hand on her chest. That power is so strong. When he hugged me just now, his heartbeat was so fast. Lu Zhe, where are you? Lu Zhe took off his suit and returned to his original position, leaning against the tree and gasping for air. The pocket watch reappeared, and the dial displayed, countdown to first reset, 23 hours 59 minutes and 59 seconds. Reset? What's the meaning? Can time be turned back? This clock, is it an artifact? Strange things on campus flashed through his mind, missing students, shadow attacks, all supernatural. It turns out the world is not ordinary. Those rumors are true. And the legend of the detective's magnifying glass, which can magnify clues into comics and predict the future. He rushed back to the classroom, grabbed his sketchbook, and drew quickly. It is not a random drawing, but the power of the pocket watch is injected into it, the lines glow, and the picture comes alive. Bai Ning is attacked again, the black shadow becomes stronger, and the campus crisis expands. Can this manuscript change reality? Give it a try. He drew the scene of the hero's counterattack, with realistic details. The energy sword slashed the shadows, and time was frozen. After finishing the painting, he wiped his sweat and said, "It's done. Hope it can be prevented next time." Everyday life is no longer ordinary. Qin Feng, his best friend, poked his head from the door. "Brother Zhe, what are you doing? You look so bad. I heard that there was a monster in the back mountain and Bai Ning was rescued. Is it true?" Lu Zhe smiled guiltily. "Don't listen to the wind, it will be rain." But his heart was in turmoil. We can't let him know. But maybe, he can help. As the sun sets, the campus lights turn on. Lu Zhe was walking home when Bai Ning suddenly came out from the side, her cheeks slightly red. "Lu Zhe. What did you see in the back mountain just now?" "There is a hero who saved me. He's so handsome." Lu Zhe's heart skipped a beat and he pretended to be stupid. "Hero? Huh, you have watched too many anime. I didn't see anything." Bai Ning pouted and poked his arm arrogantly. "Humph, you must not care about me. Don't leave me alone in the future." Her gentle eyes made Lu Zhe feel warm in his heart. "Fool, if you knew it was me." As night fell, Lu Zhe lay on the bed, staring at his pocket watch. Countdown to 0, reset start. The world is distorted and everything goes backwards. When I opened my eyes, the lunch break bell was ringing and the playground was noisy. He was drawing comics by the warehouse again, and Li Kai came to taunt him again. "Hey, Lu Zhe, he's drawing garbage again." Reset. All over again. Lu Zhe clenched his fists. He was well prepared this time. But when he walked towards the back mountain, Bai Ning's scream sounded again. Black shadows appeared, more than one, bigger, with tentacles that cracked the earth like whips, and their momentum was several times stronger than last time. No, why is it stronger this time? Bai Ning's voice was full of despair, and the black shadow roared, swallowing the trees, and rushed towards her. Lu Zhe's pupils shrank. Damn it, the crisis predicted by the original manuscript has been brought forward. I have to transform quickly, but there are more students around. What should I do if I am exposed this time? The black shadow turned its head, locked its red eyes on him, and danced its tentacles wildly. Human, the holder of the artifact, die. The tentacles of the black shadow cracked the earth like wild whips, gravel flew, and the back mountain trail instantly turned into a Shura field. The crisp sound of the tree trunk breaking echoed, and Bai Ning screamed and stepped back. The skirt of her school uniform was rolled up by the wind, revealing her pale calves. She held her head in her hands, her gentle face twisted into despair. Don't come over. Lu Zhe, save me. Her voice trembled, like a candle in the wind, and her tears fell down, mixed with the soil, and she looked pitiful. Lu Zhe's heart was beating wildly and his collar was soaked with sweat. Damn it, not only are there twice as many black shadows this time, but their power has also increased dramatically. Is the crisis predicted by the manuscript ahead of schedule? It's locked onto me, the wielder of the artifact. It knows about pocket watches. The shadows of the surrounding trees were swaying and the wind was howling. A few curious students poked their heads from the edge of the playground and stared wide-eyed. The back mountain is here again. Last time I heard there was a monster, this time it was louder. Bai Ning is the school beauty inside. Oh my God, can someone save her? Their whispers were full of panic, and their mobile phones were shaking out of focus when they raised them. The core of the black shadow flashed red, and a silver magnifying glass appeared in the center. The lens reflects a strange light and magnifies the surrounding clues, the edge of Lu Zhe's sketchbook and the faint outline of his pocket watch, all of which turn into floating comic panels, prophetically showing the trajectory of his transformation. Detective magnifying glass, does it possess this artifact? Lu Zhe gasped, his heart churning. The legend is true. This mirror can magnify hidden truths into comic manuscripts and manipulate prophecies. No wonder it's targeting me. The tentacles rushed towards him like a rain of arrows, carrying corrosive poisonous mist, and the air twisted and made a sizzling sound. Bai Ning was hit by the aftermath and fell to the ground. The hem of her skirt was torn. She curled up and cried, "It hurts, why come again? Where was the hero last time?" The students screamed and backed away, and some people sat on the ground with weak legs. The monster has eyes. There is something shining inside, let's run. Fear spread like a virus, their faces turned pale, they pushed each other, and the scene was chaotic. Can't wait any longer. If you want to rise, you must first suppress it. This time, the pressure is lower and the ball is played harder. Lu Zhe gritted his teeth and pressed his pocket watch. Golden light burst out, and the body was once again enveloped in energy. The school uniform transformed into a tight-fitting battle suit, a masked helmet covered the face, and the energy fists on both arms roared. He jumped up and roared in his heart, I have a countermeasure in the manuscript, kill the mirror with the energy sword. The fist condensed the light blade and faced the group of tentacles. Boom! The first blow cut off 10 tentacles, black juice sprayed out, and the monster roared in pain. The students were dumbfounded. Then, that's a hero? Was it him last time? He cut off the tentacles with one knife. Impossible, this power is too abnormal. A girl covered her mouth, her eyes widened like copper bells, and dropped her cell phone on the ground and forgot to pick it up. Bai Ning raised her head and saw a familiar figure in her tearful eyes. Her heart skipped a beat. It's him again. The feeling of that embrace is so warm. Why does every crisis occur? The black shadow raged, the magnifying glass buzzed, and the floating comic panel flipped faster, predicting Lu Zhe's weakness, the moment his pocket watch was exposed. The giant claw took a picture, and the ground sunk 3 meters, and the dust was like fog. Lu Zhe couldn't dodge and was hit in the shoulder. His suit was torn and blood seeped out. He groaned and knelt down. It hurts. The mirror prophecy is so accurate, but I have the original manuscript to counter it. The surrounding students screamed, the hero has been beaten. It's over, Bai Ning is going to die. Who will save them? This monster is invincible. Despair filled the air, some people cried out, tripped and rolled while retreating. Bai Ning crawled towards him, her voice choked with sobs, "Hero, leave me alone, run." She stretched out her hand, her soft fingertips touched the edge of his suit, her arrogant eyes could not hide her attachment. "Can't fall. For her." Lu Zhe roared and stood up, the sketchbook automatically appeared in his mind, and the power of the original manuscript was injected. Time was briefly frozen. The air was stagnant and the shadows moved slowly. He ducked close to the core and smashed the magnifying glass with one punch. The lens shattered, the comic panel collapsed, the black shadow let out a shrill wail, and the body quickly withered and dissipated into black mist, leaving only charred residue and broken lens fragments. Deathly silence returned to the forest, the sun shone down, and the students were stunned as if they were petrified. Then a shock erupted, win. The hero smashed the mirror with one punch, and the monster was wiped out. It's so amazing, my eyes were straightened. That speed shouldn't be seen in the world. Bai Ning was saved twice, is he the patron saint of the campus? They gathered around, eyes bright, some applauded like worship, their voices trembled in worship, and some rubbed their eyes and murmured, I have never seen such a handsome man in my life. Lu Zhe gasped, picked up Bai Ning and jumped over the treetop, whispering, be careful, school beauty. Don't run around next time. Bai Ning blushed and pressed close to his chest, her heart beating like a deer, so close. He smells a bit like that idiot Lu Zhe. His figure flashed, took off his battle clothes, and disappeared into the bushes. The pocket watch once again displayed, reset countdown, 23 hours 59 minutes and 59 seconds, but he thought to himself, no need for the time being, this time the mirror is destroyed, the crisis is alleviated. But behind the organization, we need to investigate. When the bell rang at the end of lunch break, Lu Zhe returned to the classroom as if nothing had happened and wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. The class was buzzing with buzz. I heard that the monster from the back mountain is here again. The hero is super fierce and can kill instantly with one punch. Bai Ning, the school beauty, fainted and was hugged by the heroic princess. Li Kai smashed the table, nonsense, who believes it? It must be a prank. But his eyes flickered with fear. Qin Feng came over and patted him on the shoulder, Brother Zhe, where did you go during your lunch break? Your face is livid. I heard that there is a frying pan in the back, and there is a mirror in the shadow. The campus ghost stories have escalated. Could it be the missing students? Qin Feng was careless and sharp-eyed, and caught a glimpse of the golden light remaining on the edge of Lu Zhe's sketchbook. Huh? Why is your notebook flashing? And this picture of mirror fragments? Do you doubt the detective's magnifying glass? Legend has it that that thing can draw the truth into comics and predict the future. Lu Zhe smiled guiltily and said in his mind, this kid is quick to notice, so why should you get him to join the gang? Don't make random guesses, Qin Feng. It's just the inspiration for my painting. But the campus is not safe, so don't go to the back mountain. Qin Feng's eyes widened and he rubbed his hands excitedly. Wow, Brother Zhe, do you know the inside story? Brother Tai, share your complaints. Those black shadows are probably done by dark organizations, chasing artifacts. In the corridor, Yan Xin walked up, with a figure like an orchid and a cool temperament as a school belle. She was holding a similar silver mirror in her hand, a detective magnifying glass. She glanced at Lu Zhe and her pupils shrank. This boy has residual energy in his sketchbook, does it match the trajectory of the hero behind him? The clues to the disappearance case pointed to Househan. His heart beat faster when he passed by. Suspicion. She looked at Lu Zhe, her red lips slightly parted. Classmate, did you go to the back mountain during your lunch break? Her voice was clear and sharp. Lu Zhe pretended to be stupid, his heart racing. She has a magnifying glass. Another holder? Don't reveal your secrets. No, school beauty. I'm drawing comics. Yan Xin squinted, the mirror turned slightly, and a blurry panel appeared faintly. She murmured, interesting, the truth will emerge. Passing by, she turned her head to take another look, with a sinister smile on her lips. After school, Lu Zhe hid in the old warehouse and spread out his sketchbook. Pencils are flying, and the power of pocket watches is injected. New manuscript prediction in the library. The mysterious girl Qingmei appears, stealing clues from the organization, and the shadow remnants are chasing her. The picture is perfect. The hero sneaks in, kills the thief with the energy sword, and reverses the crisis. It's done. Qingmei, a member of the organization. There's a clue in the library, we need to go. The lines of the book glow, and reality is slightly distorted. Night has enveloped the campus, the library is dimly lit, and the bookshelves are like a maze. Lu Zhe hid his identity and transformed into semi-invisible mode to sneak in. Suddenly, there was a whisper from behind the bookshelf, quick, the organization wants this missing list, the list of artifact holders. Two thieves pried into the cabinet and smiled sinisterly. Lu Zhe sneered inwardly, the original manuscript is accurate. Suppress first and then boost, leaving them in despair. He appeared, with a flash of golden light, and the energy glove locked his throat, stealing something. Looking for death. The thief glared, masked man. Hero. A man rushed towards him with a sword drawn, and the light of the sword flashed. The librarians and evening students around heard this and looked around. Thief. Oh my God, that hero kicked the table. Look at his fists, the air was exploded. It's so cool, the library turned into a battlefield, our eyes were straight. The administrator trembled, impossible, with this power, he can solve it easily. Lu Zhe dodged, and his fist was like a cannon, breaking the blade. The thief flew into the bookshelf, and the books poured down like an avalanche. The first thief knelt down and begged for mercy, spare your life. We were ordered by Qingmei. The second thief vomited blood, the organization is targeting the clock, and the holder of the artifact is dead. Lu Zhe was shocked in his heart, the clock was exposed. Qingmei is the key. He blasted them away with a shield, tied them up and threw them at the door. The onlookers screamed in admiration, the hero killed the thief instantly. One punch broke the knife, what a magical skill. My eyes are dazzled, he is the guardian of the library. Quickly uploaded online, the campus hero is here again. The administrator's legs went weak, thank you, you saved us all. He grabbed the roster and glanced at Qingmei's photo, innocent but cold. The figure disappeared, and he thought in his heart, the organization's conspiracy has emerged, and I have to draw the final manuscript. Her eyes flashed with black light, and her hand lightly touched the position of his pocket watch. The fingertips were like cold snake letters, seeping into the fabric and piercing Lu Zhe's heart. The hair on his body stood on end, and he roared in his heart, damn it. How did she know the location of the pocket watch? The organization's intelligence was exposed too quickly. The corridor was noisy and the crowd was surging like a tide. Students carrying schoolbags passed by each other and laughing endlessly, but no one noticed the undercurrent of murderous intent. The smell of Qingmei's perfume was mixed with cold murderous intent, and her red lips curled up in a mocking arc, hand over the clock obediently. This artifact is not for a little cartoonist like you to play with. The organization will make you die miserably. The next day during class break, Lu Zhe looked down at the roster in the corridor. Suddenly, a gust of fragrant wind came. Qingmei came close, her red lips touched her ear, and she whispered in a silky voice, "Classmate Lu Zhe, your clock, the organization is very interested in it. Hand it over, and you may be able to survive." Her eyes flashed with black light, and her hand touched the position of his pocket watch. Lu Zhe's face was ashen. He pretended to be calm, took half a step back, pressed his hand on his chest. His pocket watch was faintly hot. "You can't do anything here. If there are too many people, the identity will be exposed. If you want to be strong, you should suppress it first, and be patient first." He forced out an awkward smile and said, "Classmate, have you recognized the wrong person? I don't have any clocks, so I just broke my pocket watch for decoration." The girls passing by whispered, "Wow, that's not the transfer student Qingmei. She's so beautiful, what are you talking about to Lu Zhe?" "She was so close," Lu Zhe blushed. "Ha, a perk for the school girl." Their eyes flickered curiously, unaware of the crisis. The bell rang quickly, and the class was over. Lu Zhe rushed into the classroom. Qin Feng was eating snacks with his legs crossed. He whistled carelessly, "Brother Zhe. You look like you've seen a ghost. Qingmei is looking for you. I heard that she was talking about it on the first day she transferred to school." The class said she was eyeing the missing list. Lu Zhe tugged his sleeve, pulled him to the corner, and whispered, "Stop talking nonsense. Brother, join the gang. The organization is eyeing my pocket watch. Qingmei is the leader and controls the dark side. Yinghe's disappearance case. She threatened Bai Ning." Qin Feng's potato chips fell to the ground, his eyes were as wide as copper bells, and he couldn't close his mouth for a long time. "What? Brother Zhe, are you the masked hero?" Ho Shan smashed the mirror with his fist, and the library was smashed by the thief. "That's awesome. I've long suspected that something was wrong with the golden light in the sketchbook." He slapped the table excitedly, his voice trembled, and the passing classmates looked at him. "Qin Feng is crazy." Lu Zhe nodded helplessly and took out the roster and the mirror fragment from his pocket. "Evidence. This fragment is Heiying's detective magnifying glass, which can magnify the truth into a comic book prophecy. Help me check Qingmei's clues." Qin Feng snatched the fragment, looked closer, and said casually, "Okay. Brother assists." He injected curiosity, and the fragments buzzed, and a blurred comic panel appeared. Qingmei's sinister figure was surrounded by black shadows. The panel read, "Organization Leader, controlling campus welfare club activities, detonating the artifact holder's trap at the party night, Bai Ning became a bait." Qin Feng gasped, his hands trembling like chaff. "Let me strangle you. She leads the organization. The Welfare Society party is a trap. Bai Ning's school beauty is going to be kidnapped. Brother Zhe, this clue is so exciting that it makes my eyes go straight." Just as he was talking, Yan Xin pushed the door open and walked in. The cool school beauty's temperament swept across the class like an ice blade, and the silver mirror in her hand flashed. She went straight to Lu Zhe, her red lips slightly parted. "Meet you again, classmate. Your sketchbook matches the energy of the hero. Tell me, the truth behind the mountain." The classroom was silent for a moment, and the students stared wide-eyed. The school beauty is questioning Lu Zhe. Big drama. Her mirror is so cool, magnifying glass legend. Qin Feng winked in a funny way. "Beauty, Brother Zhe is innocent. We are checking. Where is the organization, together?" Yan Xin narrowed his eyes, the mirror turned, and he scanned the roster. Qingmei's black light appeared on the panel. "Interesting. There is a ghost in the welfare club activities. Bai Ning is in charge of the props, and she is involved in danger. I join, the detective girl Yan Xin, who specializes in conspiracies." She smiled sinisterly, her eyes were as sharp as an eagle, and Lu Zhe's heartbeat accelerated. "She has a magnifying glass. Ally. Great, we have a team of 3. The 3 of them slipped out of the classroom and rushed to the welfare club activity room. The campus was bustling with activity, colorful flags were flying, and the poster read, "School Anniversary Party Carnival Night, exclusive surprise from the Welfare Club." The students talked excitedly, "I heard there will be a lottery, and the artifact model is super cool. Bai Ning, the school beauty, is hosting it, so looking forward to it." In the event room, cardboard boxes piled up like a mountain, and Bai Ning was bending over to sort them. Props, with a gentle smile and a bright smile, the sleeves of her school uniform were rolled up, revealing her fair arms. "Everyone, come and help, the party is going to explode." She turned to see the three of them, her face was slightly red, and she winked at Lu Zhe. "Lu Zhe. Are you here? I just saw Shen Qingqing in the corridor. She was so weird, she asked me about the prop box." Qin Feng complained, "Sister, school beauty, it's dangerous. Shen Qingqing is the boss of the organization, this party is a trap. The roster shows that she wants to kidnap you as bait to lure Brother Zhe to show up as a hero." Bai Ning's mouth opened slightly, her gentle eyes flashed in panic, and she pressed her hand on her chest. Organization? About the Black Shadow. Lu Zhe, you know. She leaned closer to Lu Zhe, snuggled softly, the fragrance was fragrant, and she felt sweet in her heart. He always appears in crisis, so reliable, like that hero. Yan Xin looked at the prop box in the mirror, and the panel revealed, there was a black mist bomb hidden in the box, predicting the collapse of the party, and organizing a team to raid. Evidence. Shen Qingqing hid 10 black mist devices, which exploded during the party and summoned a group of black shadows. Bai Ning, you are the target. Students rushed in after hearing the news, and the activity room was packed. The welfare club is lively. The lottery has started. Bai Ning is so cute, help her move the boxes. Li Kai led the gangsters in, smashing the table and taunting, "Hey, the loser Lu Zhe formed a group to play detective. A hero? Laugh to death, the party will be fine." His eyes flashed with fear, but he maintained his dominance. Passers-by around him echoed, "Yes, it's just a rumor, don't be scary." An atmosphere of despair brewed. Bai Ning's face turned pale, and her gentle voice trembled, "Everyone, run quickly. The prop box is so hot." Qin Feng made a funny pose, "Brother Zhe, lower down and then play. Let's suppress first and then raise up, pretending to be fine, and lure the snake out of the hole." Reasoning with words and hearts, 5 people in the team are hiding a secret door. "Lu Zhe, do you have any countermeasures?" Shen Qingqing chuckled, his eyes became darker, and when he poked hard with his finger, his pocket watch trembled slightly in response. "Pretend to be stupid. The mirror fragment tells me everything. Your heroic tricks are known to the whole organization. See you in the old warehouse after school. If you don't come, Bai Ning, the school beauty, will be next." She shook her head and left, her long hair swept like a black whip, leaving a gloomy echo. Lu Zhe clenched his fists, his knuckles turned white, and his heart was in turmoil. Bai Ning is involved again. Is she the leader of an organization that controls campus events? Come on, buddy. That kid Qin Feng has sharp eyes, look for him first. Suddenly, the box buzzed and black mist spewed out. The organization team appeared, 5 men wearing black masks, holding mirror fragments, and whipping tentacles wildly. Sacred weapon holder, hand over the clock. The sound of shattering glass was harsh, ribbons were torn and flying, and the activity room turned into a Shura field. The students screamed, "Monster! The shadow is here again." The prop box exploded, it was so scary, I was blinded. Li Kai's legs were weak and he knelt down, is it fake? This power. Bai Ning was wrapped around her legs by tentacles, fell down and cried, "It hurts. Lu Zhe, save me." Her eyes were full of tears, and she stretched out her gentle hand, her skirt was muddy. Can't wait any longer. Reset the fine-tuning first and test the tactics. Lu Zhe pressed his pocket watch, the countdown flashed, 5 minutes, and the time went back 5 minutes. Reset. The scene was repeated, the black mist sprayed out again, and he roared in his heart. It failed the first time, there were too many tentacles. The second time, I drew the original manuscript. The sketchbook flew out, and the pencil danced wildly to inject power, the key original manuscript, the energy shield surrounded by Ning, and the sword formation slashed the team's mirror. Lines glow, reality distorts. After the second reset, he jumped up and pressed his pocket watch, and golden light exploded. Transformed into a hero, the masked suit was tightly wrapped, and the fists roared, "Come on, organizational scum." The energy shield covered by Ning and the students like a dome, and the tentacles hit the electric explosion, making it impossible to get close. Qin Feng hilariously yelled for assists, "Hero is awesome. Zay, boss, destroy them all with one punch." He picked up pieces and smashed the enemy, and rolled to the ground to avoid the whip in a funny way. Yan Xin's mirror magnified the weakness, reasoning and shouting, the core of the mirror on the left. It is predicted that they will self-destruct. The panel appeared, and the team panicked. The hero Lu Zhe sneered in his heart, "The original manuscript will counterattack and crush you to death." The energy sword condensed, the sword energy was like a tornado, cutting off 20 tentacles, and the black juice poured down like rain. Boom! The first team member's mirror shattered and his scream turned into mist. The students were petrified and then exploded, shield skill. The monsters can't touch us. The hero's sword is blinded by the flash of light, and it cuts 10 times. It's so abnormal. The girls screamed in admiration, "Handsome. Bai Ning is safe, he is the savior." Li Kai's face turned green and he murmured, "Impossible. This kind of power should not exist in the world." The black-clothed leader roared, "Sir Qingmei, spare your life." The giant tentacle smacked down, causing the ground to sink and the bookshelf toppled like a landslide. Lu Zhe dodged, the shield rebounded, and the sword array exploded. 5 light blades pierced the heart, and the team was wiped out. The fog dispersed, leaving only fragments of burnt black lenses clanking to the ground. Bai Ning stood in the shield, hugged her knees tenderly, and looked at him with tearful eyes, "Hero, thank you for saving me again. Your eyes look so familiar." She stretched out her hand and touched the shield softly, blushing and heart-beating. Qin Feng jumped up and clapped, his voice trembling, "My eyes are dazzled. Brother Zhe, the heroic boss, the sword formation is 5 seconds away, the organization is crying." Yan's confidant smiled darkly, "Perfect reasoning and execution. Your clock is hidden." The students gathered around and worshipped. Fanaticism, the patron saint of campus parties. Kill monsters with one sword, so handsome. We are alive, pass on the internet, heroes will live forever. The activity room was dilapidated but the cheers were loud. Li Kai got up, his eyes changed with admiration, "Lu, hero, awesome." Lu Zhe's figure flashed, and he jumped from the window sill of the welfare institution, landing silently. The metallic luster of the masked battle suit quickly faded in the afterglow of the setting sun, turning into an ordinary school uniform. His heart beat like a drum, his pocket watch felt slightly hot on his chest, and the chip was held in his palm. The cold touch was like the aftertaste of Qingmei's ridicule, "The whole army is dispatched." The city bell. This chip is a new mystery. It needs to be hidden. Return to daily cover first. Friends, we're waiting, don't reveal your secret. In the campus square, students were still whispering in the residual heat of the party, colorful lights flashed, broken glass was swept away, and the air was filled with smoke and the echo of excited screams. The hero is gone. But the shield is so amazing, all the monsters are destroyed. The legend comes true, there is a patron saint on campus. The passers-by's eyes were wild, and the girls hugged each other and screamed. Li Kai collapsed on the ground, and the gangsters helped him, his face was pale and he murmured, "That sword light, my legs are weak, where is that good-for-nothing Lu Zhe? It can't be him." He took a deep breath, pretended to be a passerby who had just squeezed out of the crowd, and slipped into the comic club activity room. As soon as the door is opened, the familiar fragrance of ink hits my face. The walls are covered with hand-painted posters and there are many easels. The setting sun shines in through the large window, lengthening the shadows. Qin Feng was lying on the table with his legs crossed, scribbling chicken legs on his sketchbook. Yan Xin was reading a book by the window. His cold profile was like an ice sculpture. Bai Ning bent over to pick up paint, her skirt swayed slightly, revealing her fair calves, and she gently hummed the school celebration song. La la, the party is super exciting, the hero is so handsome. She turned to see Lu Zhe, her face instantly rosy. Softly rushed to hug her arms. Lu Zhe. Where have you been? The black shadow was so scary just now, but fortunately the hero came. I was so worried when you were not here. Her scent was like cotton candy, her chest trembled slightly when she snuggled up, and her heart was pounding. He always appears at critical moments, like the shadow of a hero. I really want to stick to him more. Qin Feng spurted out potato chips, jumped up and slapped the table, his voice trembling as if he had seen a ghost. Brother Zhe. Your heroic transformation is so cool. With a wave of the sword, 5 scum in black turned into mist, and his eyes were straight. The students worshipped like crazy, and that idiot Li Kai knelt down and shouted cow. He grabbed Lu Zhe's shoulders in excitement, and the fool's eyes flashed in admiration. Sister Bai Ning of the sketchbook original Shield Circle, reality distortion is awesome. The organization is crying. Shen Qingqing lost the chip and escaped. Yan Xin's silver mirror flashed, and he glanced at Lu Zhe with dark eyes, and raised his red lips, hidden perfectly. Classmate. Your sketch is 99% consistent with the hero's energy. Where is the chip? Mirror prophecy, city-level conspiracy. She tapped her finger, and a blurred panel appeared on the mirror, the reflection of the bell tower, the gathering of the Black Shadow Army, and the words, the whole army is suppressing the situation, the campus is only the outpost. Lu Zhe scratched his head in embarrassment, lowered his voice and sat at the table with his sketchbook spread out, low-key. First of all, daily maintenance, preparations for the school anniversary festival. The comic book club has released a new poster. Bai Ning, be a model. Heroic pose, give inspiration. He was ecstatic in his heart. The team's tacit understanding is up, the mirror of words and hearts assists the imagination. Qin Feng's complaints buffer, Bai Ning's welfare perspective. It's cool. But the weird things in the library cannot be delayed, the books fly automatically, and the clues to the missing list are there. Bai Ning nodded shyly, stood in front of the easel, and assumed a hero's hug pose. The collar of her school uniform was slightly loose, her collarbones were shining, and she blinked softly. Okay, like this? Chest up, eyes firm. When she turned around, her waist twisted, the sunset outlined the curve, and Qin Feng's nosebleed spurts. Lots of benefits. School beauty model. Brother Zhe, you are so lucky. Yan Xin snorted, concentrate on drawing, and expand your imagination. She looked at the sketchbook in the mirror, and the panel expanded, the lines were activated, the hero's figure appeared on the paper, and the shadows of the library bookshelves were predicted to squirm. The laughter in the comics club heated up, the tip of the pen rustled, and the paint splattered. Qin Feng complained while painting, the organization's conspiracy is too cheap. The trap of the welfare society failed. Shen Qingqing's eyes were scary, how could her intelligence be so accurate? The chip said the countdown of the city clock. Brother Zhe's pocket watch sensed it. Lu Zhe's pencil flew, and he said in his heart, the chip is hidden in his pocket, checked with a magnifying glass, and even black market artifacts are traded outside the campus. The world is getting bigger, organizations are not just campuses, are there circles of urban awakeners? If you want to restrain and advance before you advance, draw the original manuscript of the library to prophesy first. He whispered, weird things happen in the library, books move automatically, students report supernatural phenomena. Solve it before the school anniversary, so as not to panic. Bai Ning read the manuscript closely and pointed softly at the lines. This little monster is so ugly, like a mutated bookworm. Lu Zhe's painting really looks like it. A hero can solve it with one punch. Her fingers accidentally slipped over the back of his hand, and electricity rushed through his heart. Lu Zhe's face heated up. Qingmei welfare, so sweet. As night fell, the campus was brightly lit, and school anniversary posters were posted everywhere. The students moved tables and set up stalls, laughing and saying, "The comic club poster is awesome. Hero theme, real-life version. The library is haunted. Books are flying off the shelves, so scary." The four of them sneaked out of the comic club and sneaked into the library. The giant glass door reflects the moonlight, the bookshelves inside are like a forest, towering into the clouds, and the air is hot and fragrant with ink. The light is dim, the pages of the book turn automatically, rustling like insects, and the shadow of the bookshelf in the distance stretches, squirming like a living creature. Did you hear that? The books are moving. Qin Feng's legs were weak and he frowned and growled funnily. Brother Zhe, this is scarier than the shadows. The library is like a maze. Yan Xin's silver mirror swept the shelves, and the panel appeared, cracks in the spine of the book, black mist seeping out, the outline of the monster. The bookworm merged with the mirror fragments, and its tentacles were like the edge of the page, prophesying, hide 10 of them, absorb students' memories, and organize experimental subjects. Her voice trembled slightly, her face turned pale, stronger, fragment regeneration. Clues to the city's black market, this is a high-level monster. Bai Ning hugged Lu Zhe's arms tightly, her gentle body trembling. It's so eerie, the books are flying. Sure enough, the bookshelf roared, and ancient books flew out like a flock of birds, with pages as sharp as knives, mixed with black mist tentacles, rolling towards them. The library was instantly in chaos, and the ant on duty screamed and ran away. Ghost. The books are alive. A passing night student stared wide-eyed, and the books smashed on the table and broke into pieces, with ink splattering like blood. The eyes are blind. What kind of monster is this? The pages bite people. Li Kai led the gangsters to rush into the night, and unexpectedly bumped into him, and his domineering face collapsed. Fuck. Books. Attack. Lu Zhe, are you here again? This is impossible, my legs are weak. Desperation filled the air, and the bookworm monsters buzzed together. The giant book ball rolled over, with a diameter of 3 meters. The tentacles sucked the air and fired, and the students fainted and fell to the ground, screaming, "Head hurts. Memories have been stolen." Qin Feng hid the book on the ground, his voice trembling like a sieve. Brother Zhe, hit the bottom. This little monster absorbs memories and organizes upgrade experiments. We are finished. Yan Xin mirror magnified the weakness and reasoned out, the core of the spine. But 10 of them are linked together, and one person can't carry it. Bai Ning cried and cuddled up. Lu Zhe, protect everyone. I'm so scared. Her tears fell, and the hem of her skirt was torn by the edge of the page, revealing the red marks on her knees, and her gentle hands grabbed the corners of his clothes. Lu Zhe clenched his fists, his knuckles turned white, and roared in his heart, the ridicule is here. Li Kai is still yelling at the trash. Team Crisis, micro reset test first. But the countdown is tight, it's a straight shot to draw the original. His sketchbook flew out, energy was injected into his pocket watch, and his pencil danced wildly. The ultimate original draft, ink sword storm, page lock protection net, hero instant kill core. Golden light burst out from the lines, reality was distorted, and the tentacles of the book group froze. Press the pocket watch. Wrapped in golden light, transform into a hero. The masked suit has lightning patterns, the fists roar, and the semi-invisible leaps up. Organizational scum, get out of the campus. The ink sword condenses, and the storm rolls up thousands of fragments, like a black dragon devouring mobs. The core of the first wave of bookworms was exposed, the sword energy split, and the juice poured down like ink rain. Zi La. All 10 were wiped out, the book group disintegrated, and the fragments fell to the ground with a clang. The library trembled, and the bookshelves returned to silence, leaving only the edges of charred pages falling. The students were petrified for a few seconds, and then they burst into frenzy. The hero is here again. The ink sword storm is blinded, and 10 monsters are killed instantly. The net blocks everything, the memory is back, a magical skill. The girls screamed in admiration, handsome bomb. Guard the library, the school anniversary is safe. Li Kai knelt down, and the gangster followers trembled and worshipped. The monster is flying. Hero, you are a god. Where is Lu Zhe? Impossible. Qin Fengtiao, they applauded, and their voices broke. My eyes are blown. Brother Zhe killed the link monster instantly. The team's tacit understanding is perfect. I assisted in picking up the fragments. It's great. Yan Xin smiled darkly, and put away the mirror. Perfect prophecy and execution. The city circle is expanding, and this little monster is even on the black market. Bai Ning stood in the protective net, looking at him with tender and tearful eyes. Hero, your sword is so handsome. It looks like one painted by Lu Zhe. She stretched out her soft hand to touch the net, blushing with excitement. Lu Zhe picked up Bai Ning, jumped out of the window, and whispered, Campus beauty, just be patient. The figure disappeared and transformed. After resetting the pocket watch, he thought to himself, the party was saved, but Shen Qingqing escaped. Outside the welfare club, Shen Qingqing appeared in the shadows, her mouth bloodshot, and dropped a chip. Boy, next time we organize the entire army to dispatch, the artifact is ours. Her figure melted into the black mist and disappeared without a trace. Chip flashes, massive attack, city bells countdown. The hero Lu Zhe whispered, school beauty, be good. The figure disappeared half out of the window, and then returned after transforming. He gasped and leaned against the wall, putting away his sketchbook. The library is clear, the team is up, but the chip predicts the entire army. The school anniversary lights illuminated his face, and the students gathered around and cheered loudly. Bai Ning's fingertips were still resting on the cold metal surface of the pocket watch. The buzzing was as low as a heartbeat. The noise of the school anniversary festival seeped in from the window. The stalls were selling goods, colorful balls were flying, and the aroma of skewers was mixed with the smell of fireworks. The comic club was suddenly as quiet as an ice cave. Her eyes widened, confusion and surprise appeared on her gentle face, and her soft voice trembled. Lu Zhe, this pocket watch. The moment the books flew in the library, repeated images flashed through my mind. Like a dream, time is stuck. And it's hot, so weird. Do you know what? She leaned closer, her chest pressed against his arm. Qingmei's attachment eyes were like a kitten begging for a caress, and her heart was racing. He always hides secrets, like the eyes of a hero. I really want to know everything, and protect the campus together. Cold sweat fell from Lu Zhe's forehead, his sketchbook snapped shut, and he roared in his heart, exposed and exploded. Bai Ning triggered the induction, and the 4 members of the team were together, but all said, if you want to restrain yourself first, calm down the embarrassment, explain half-truths and half-lies, and get her to join the gang. He scratched his head in embarrassment and looked around the 3 of them in a low voice. Qin Feng stopped talking and stared wide-eyed. Yan Xixin's dark eyes flashed in the silver mirror. Classmate, the mirror also detects frequency changes. Pocket watch artifact, time loop. 99% consistent with heroic energy. Qin Feng jumped up with a smile, and slapped the table. Brother Zhe. Sister Bai Ning noticed it, the Iron Squad is expanding. Organize the entire army to suppress the situation. The dormitory disappearance case is hotly discussed, and it explodes before the school anniversary. Let's investigate. Outside the school anniversary square, there was a huge crowd of students. Girls cosplaying as heroes screamed and took pictures. Passers-by whispered, the library hero Mo Jian Tai Shen, bookworm juice sprayed on the ceiling. 2 more people disappeared in the dormitory last night. They were dragged away by shadows. Are you still having fun on the school anniversary? Li Kai led the gangsters to rub shoulders. His domineering face twisted into admiration, and he murmured to his followers, the hero kills 10 monsters instantly. Lu Zhe is useless. No, God level. His legs are still weak. The shadow of despair enveloped the campus. Posters in the dormitory area were marked with missing alert, blank facial makeup was outlined on the roster, and the wind rustled the edge of the paper like a ghost crying. Lu Zhe took a deep breath, held Bai Ning's soft hand tightly, and his eyes were as firm as when a hero was masked. Ning, listen. This pocket watch is a magical tool. I can reset the time for 1 day, transform into a hero and solve strange things. The bookworm in the library, the dark shadow in the welfare club, all were drawn by me in advance. The words were reversed. But the organization is targeting Qingmei, the whole army of demons is coming, and the city bell is counting down. Join us, a team of 4, to hide in daily battles. His inner monologue, the secret is half revealed, the sweet bond is up, her gentle encouragement is super buff. Bai Ning's face turned red, her tears sparkling, and she threw herself into his arms. Lu Zhe, you are a hero. Save me for the 4th time, it's you. So handsome, so scared and so happy I'll join. Use my gentleness to be a backup model. Her scent was fragrant, her chest trembled slightly, and Qin Feng snorted with a nosebleed. Welfare upgrade. Childhood fan transfers to the team, Brother Zhe's love blossoms. Yan Xin raised her red lips and pushed the frame of the mirror. Welcome, newcomer. Mirror prophecy, the disappearance in the dormitory points directly to the organization's experiment, and Qingmei's men are hiding. The daily cover of the school anniversary festival, first check for clues. The 4 of them slipped out of the comics club and blended into the crowd of people at the festival. The stalls were filled with fireworks. The claw machine jingled, and the student cosplay hero posed and screamed, the foursome from the comic club are awesome, the poster predicts the truth. They sneaked into the boys' dormitory area. The iron door was rusty, the lights on the stairs flickered like will-o'-the-wisps, and the hot air was mixed with the smell of mold and faint blood. Qin Feng took the lead and roared funny, Brother Zhe, this ghost place is darker than the library. The missing room 308, the blood stains on the sheets are not wiped off. He picked up the silver mirror fragment borrowed by Yan Xin, left over from yesterday, pointed it at the corner of the wall to enlarge the blood stain, the mirror buzzed, and the lines were distorted into a comic panel. The outline of a black shadow dragged the students into the secret door, Qingmei's innocent face appeared, and the words, Little Boss, Mirror-devouring beast, soul-sucking dormitory lair. Qin Feng's eyes were as wide as copper bells, and his voice was trembling with excitement, fuck. The mirror turns into a comic manuscript, superpower. The little boss is ugly, the tentacle mirror bites the soul, and the organization raises pets. Yan Xin took the mirror and reasoned, and his dark voice was cold, perfect. The blood-stained DNA matched the missing student, controlled by Qingmei's men, and the abandoned hot spring behind the lair. The school anniversary hot spring party is a cover, with a trap hidden inside. The entire army is outpost, the chip prediction is accurate. Bai Ning hugged Lu Zhe tightly and trembled softly, it's scary, but there are heroes, don't be afraid. Draw the manuscript to predict. Passing by the dormitory uncle, who was petrified, he murmured with wide eyes, are you checking the haunted house? The blood stains automatically expanded, like a comic book. Come on campus heroes. The gangsters were stealing, and the despair increased, 5 people were lost in the dormitory, the black shadow mirror reflected people, and the school anniversary was ruined. As night falls, the school anniversary lights are soaring, and the hot spring party begins. There are a lot of people and steam. Girls swim in swimsuits and laugh loudly. Boys complain about soaking in the pool, full marks for benefits. But rumors in the dormitory scare people, who dares to soak at night? The four people change into bathrobes and mix in, and the perspective of benefits is overwhelming. The curves of the bikini are wrapped in white, and the water drops slip off the collarbone. Lu Zhe shyly clings to Lu Zhe. Lu Zhe, the steam is so hot, like a hero's shield. She poured water on him with her soft hands, and the moisture on her chest loomed. Qin Fengbao Pool was bleeding from the nose. Brother Zhe, this party god. Weakness of the little boss, the mirror is afraid of heat, the hot spring steams it. Yan Xin wore a black scarf, and her cool legs were slender. The complaint is over. The secret passage in the lair is in the bottom of the pool. Take action. But suddenly, the black mist seeped out from the bottom of the pool, and the mirror-devouring beast appeared. The giant mirror had tentacles like an octopus, and the students' screaming faces were reflected on the surface. Reflective soul-absorbing beams were fired, causing chaos in the pool. The water exploded, and screams spread, monster. The mirror bites the soul, the truth about the disappearance. The girls fled in a group, and the boys' legs collapsed. Ground, my eyes are blind. The tentacles reflect light and suck the brain, and the school anniversary is ruined. Li Kai was soaking by the pool, his dominance collapsed and he knelt in the water. Damn. The little boss has linked up with 20 tentacles, we are finished. Heroes, help. Where are you, Lu Zhe? It's impossible to handle it. Despair overwhelmed her, the temperature of the water soared like boiling, the mirror-eating beasts buzzed together, and the soul beam locked onto Bai Ning. She cried and hugged Lu Zhe. Lu Zhe, it's so cold, my soul is going to be sucked. Qin Feng rolled the water to avoid the tentacles, and his voice trembled, bottom is down. Brother Zhe, reset the suppression. This boss's regeneration lens is invincible. Yan Xin mirror magnified his weakness, and he reasoned and shouted, the hot steam melts the core. But if the 20 tentacles are linked, one click will kill you. Lu Zhe clenched his fists, his knuckles turned white, and roared in his heart, with all the taunts, Li Kai is still shouting. Team Crisis, draw the original manuscript first and reset it. The sketchbook was wetly pulled out, the energy of the pocket watch was injected, and the pencil danced wildly, the ultimate original draft dash, steam ink sword, mirror-shattering storm, hero's hot fist to instantly explode the lair. The golden light of the lines distorts reality, the tentacles freeze, and the transpiration of the water surface intensifies. Press the pocket watch. The time resets and the countdown flashes, the world freezes in gray, and restarts to the moment before the party begins. Lu Zhe was ecstatic in his heart, one reset, perfect prediction. Night attack straight ball. He whispered to the three of them, reset, attack the lair at night, defeat the boss easily. In the deep night, the four of them sneaked into the abandoned hot spring lair. The steam remained, the cracks in the mirror wall were filled with black mist, the mirror-eating beast was sleeping and buzzing, and 20 tentacles coiled around the core of the mirror, reflecting the screams of the missing souls. Qin Feng's legs went weak and he growled, Brother Zhe, this lair is gloomy, the boss is a pile of ugly mirrors. Yan's confident black mirror scanned, weaknesses melt, prophecy is implemented. Bai Ning gently clenched his fist, come on, hero. Wrapped in golden light, transform into a hero. The steam lines of the masked suit flashed, and the heat wave rolled from the gloves. He jumped in semi-invisibly, organize pets, get out. The steam ink sword condensed, and the storm rolled up the heat mist like a dragon, piercing the core. The mirror of the first tentacle melted and shattered, and the soul light group was liberated and floated out. Boom! The 20 tentacles counterattacked together, and the reflective soul beam swept through the air and exploded. However, the hero's hot fist roared, and the center of the mirror exploded instantly. The fragments rained down, and the nest collapsed and trembled. The mini-boss howled miserably and disappeared, and fragments of missing people's memories clattered to the ground. The ruins were silent, with only the blackened mirrors and smoldering remains. Lurking students and passers-by were petrified for a few seconds, and a frenzy broke out, heroic night attack. The steam sword melts the boss, and 20 tentacles are shattered in seconds. The soul is back, God. The school anniversary is safe, the hot spring party will renew your life. The hiding gangster opened his eyes wide and trembled, instant explosion linkage. The hero is invincible, brother Li Kai, worship. Li Kai heard from a distance, knelt down and murmured, impossible. Lu Zhe sighed. Deification. Qin Feng jumped up and applauded, I'm melting. Brother Zhe's hot fists are awesome, I picked up the soul fragments to assist. Yan Xin closed his eyes and smiled, perfect reversal. All Shenqingqing's men were wiped out, but Bai Ning's teary eyes touched the hero's afterimage softly, your sword looks like Lu Zhe's painting. It's so warm. She touched the air softly, her heart beating and her face flushing. The next day at the comic club, the school anniversary festival was lively, with stalls lined up and the fragrance fragrant. The four of them were drawing posters and laughing. Bai Ning leaned next to Lu Zhe and accidentally pressed the pocket watch on his chest with a gentle hand, Lu Zhe, this pocket watch is so hot. Huh. The clock buzzed and the countdown flashed. Her eyes flashed strangely, just now, the moment when the books flew in the library, it seemed to be repeated. Time, weird. Lu Zhe's heart sank and he yelled in his heart, exposed crisis. Is she triggered? The hero's figure half disappeared, transformed and returned. The next day was the climax of the school anniversary festival. The stalls were full and posters from the 4 Comics Club were sold out. Students gathered around and screamed, the original manuscript of the hero's prophecy is true. The dormitory was cleared and all the missing were rescued. The team's laughter heated up, and Qin Feng complained, the little boss is a weakling. The organization is crying. Yan Xin reasoned, expand the circle, the black market will take a step down. Bai Ning and Lu Zhe said, the team is so sweet, let's fight together in the next battle. Lu Zhe felt happy, the bond is perfect, the campus festival is up, but the chip army. Suddenly, Yan Xin's cell phone buzzed, and an unfamiliar message popped up, Shenqingqing's selfie with a pure and cold face, with an army of black shadows in the background, and the text flashed, Hero, the mirror girl is in my hand. Come to the clock tower, otherwise the school anniversary bell will ring and the city's soul will be devoured. Yan Xin's face turned pale, she kidnapped me. There was a moment of silence in the comics club. The cheers of the school celebration exploded from the window. The ribbons fluttered like rainbow debris. The stalls sold hero posters for 10 yuan each. The prophecy of the mirror-shattering storm is so accurate. The boy cosplaying the hero with the ink sword posed and screamed, and the girls gathered around to take pictures, the souls in the dormitory are rescued, and the missing list is all checked. The hero is invincible, and his life is saved on the school anniversary. Qin Feng's potato chip crumbs were scattered on the floor, and Daniel Lang's face twisted into shock, and he jumped up and slapped the table. Brother, the Iron Team is dispatched. We have just wiped out the mirror-devouring beast welfare hot spring, and now the whole army is on the border. My legs are weak but I am excited. Bai Ning held Lu Zhe's sleeves tightly with her soft hands, her gentle face was pale, her chest was rising and falling rapidly, and her tears were rolling, Yan Xin. She saved us many times with the prophecy of the mirror, nothing will happen to her. Lu Zhe, hero mode, save her. My inspiration, draw a new manuscript to buff you, her fragrance is sweet and tangy with the festival marshmallows, Qingmei's eyes are like a deer asking for help, and her heart is turbulent, I am so scared, there are countless shadows in the organization, but Lu Zhe's sword master reverses, together forever. Lu Zhe's heart was beating wildly, the old pocket watch buzzed like an alarm in his pocket, the countdown hand slowly turned, the energy bar flashed faintly red, and his inner monologue was like thunder, damn it. Shenqingqing stole fragments of my manuscript. The soul chip she picked up during the battle with the mirror-eater beast, did she use the prophecy to bind her heart? Short trimming, inventory first. The team bond is perfect, the strength is improved, the final manuscript is drawn, and the crisis is suppressed again. He took a deep breath of the smell of festival fireworks, spread out his sketchbook, and the pencil flew into the golden light of the pocket watch, and the lines twisted into a new panel: Bell Tower Steam Sword Array, Mirror Bite Evolving Boss, Soul Mirror Legion, Weakness, Manuscript Backlash Explosion. Students and passers-by around him approached the window and murmured with wide eyes. He murmured, "Zai Shen from the Comics Club is drawing a hero again. Last time, the mirror was predicted to explode, and the school anniversary posters sold like crazy." Li Kai led the gangsters to crowd the booth, his domineering face twitched in admiration, and his legs were still weak, muttering to his followers, "Zai is useless, the painting is alive." The hero instantly explodes with 20 tentacles, the organization is crying, "I worship the wrong person." The four of them gathered around the sketchbook. Qin Feng picked up the fragments of the silver mirror and enlarged the lines. He roared in a funny voice, "Awesome." The boss Soul Mirror army was defeated. Shen Qingqing's pure face was the core. The army's tentacles linked up with the soul devouring, and the weak original manuscript was reversed to blow up her lair. Yan Xin. Suppressing her panic, she pushed the frame with a black face, and her cool voice returned to sharpness: "Perfect inventory." After the Mirror Eater was destroyed, she stole the soul chips to form an army. The clock tower hid the black market artifact, the school anniversary bell was the detonator, and the city sucked all the souls. Fix 5 points first, daily life cover and sneak in. Bai Ning burst out with inspiration and moved closer to be a model. The curves were looming under the bathrobe, and the light shone like water droplets. "Lu Zai, look at my eyes." Gentle shield manuscript, blessed hero immortality buff. She touched the sketchbook softly. His chest was pressed lightly against the page, and the painting style instantly flowed with soft light. Students and passers-by all sprayed nosebleeds. Welfare model god. Sister Bai Ning is sticking to Zai, and the comic club is bursting with love. Qin Feng laughed and held up the air. Brother Zai is in trouble, the organization is waiting. The screen of Yan Xian's mobile phone is still on. The innocent but cold Shen Qingqing's selfie is frozen like a ghost. The Black Shadow Army is squirming in the background. The bell tower spire has a faint red light. The words are like a poisonous snake spitting a message: "Hero, the mirror girl is in my hand. Come to the clock tower, otherwise the school anniversary bell will ring and the city's soul will be devoured." Her face turned as white as paper, and the silver mirror fell off the table and rolled to Lu Zai's feet. For the first time, real panic flashed through her dark eyes, and her voice trembled slightly. "How did she know about my mirror? Kidnap me? But I am clearly here. This message, time and space are confused." The organization prophesied a counterattack. The climax of the school anniversary celebration broke out. The crowd surged like a sea, fireworks roared into the sky, the lights of the stalls were bright, the claw machines jingled wildly, and the cosplayers screamed, "Here comes the hero." Suddenly, a dark wind suddenly rose in the direction of the clock tower, the bells hummed like a soul crying, and the black screen of Shen Qingqing flashed on the big screen in the center of the square. Smiling, the Black Shadow Army of the bell tower squirmed in the background, and the tentacle mirror reflected the screams of the students. Her cold voice broadcast to the whole school, "Hero. The mirror girl is in my hands, and the fragments of the manuscript allow me to predict you." The campus festival turns into a soul-eating feast, the bell rings, and the city is devoured. Come to the bell tower, otherwise there will be a chain of explosions. Screen switching, Yan Xian was bound by the tentacles of the Black Shadow, and the silver mirror shattered and fell. She struggled and roared, "Lu Zai. The organization stole the manuscript, the army is invincible." The students screamed desperately in an instant, the crowd stampeded in chaos, and fireworks fell to the ground and exploded with light. The demon girl shows off. Yan Xian is kidnapped, the bell tower ghost domain, the school anniversary is destroyed. The Soul Mirror Legion linked up with the 100 tentacles. The hero was shattered in 20 seconds last time, but this time it's over. Li Kai's gang collapsed and knelt down, his domineering face twisted and trembling with fear. Damn. The boss's innocent face controlled him, and the black market chips exploded. Our legs are weak and we are waiting to die. Zishan, come to the rescue. Despair overwhelmed the square, smoke and dust billowed in the square, passers-by scurried away, stalls collapsed and colorful ribbons drifted like corpses. Qin Feng pulled Bai Ning to rush to the clock tower and yelled funny, it's rock bottom. Sister Yan Xin persists, Brother Zhe resets the suppression. Bai Ning cried and cried to Lu Zhe, it's scary, there are countless shadows. But your original manuscript is reversed. Lu Zhe's fists turned white, his knuckles turned white, and he roared in his heart, with so much ridicule, Li Kai still yells. Shen Qingqing stole the original manuscript to show off, suppressing it first and then raising it, and reset it 3 times to fine-tune it perfectly. Pocket watch pressed. The world froze gray and white, then restarted 5 minutes before the climax of the festival, but the bell did not ring. Reset once. Predict the weakness of the Legion, and the original manuscript will backfire. 4 people, Yan Xin's pre-recorded positions, sneaked into the base of the clock tower. The ancient tower stood eerily, with vines entangled like snakes, the stairs were stained with blood, and the wind rustled the pendulum and ghosts wept. Black mist fills the interior, the Soul Mirror army buzzes, and the 100-tentacled mirror gathers to form the boss, Shen Qingqing, wrapped in mirror armor, with fragments of silver mirror embedded in it. Holding the broken pages of the stolen manuscript, the prophecy beam fires, here comes the hero. The girl's soul has been eaten. Yan Xin is suspended in the air by the tentacles, and the broken light of the silver mirror flashes to magnify the truth, weakness. The original manuscript is reversed, and her core is afraid of autophagy. But the army pounces, and the tentacles link the soul beam to burst the air, and the bell tower trembles and explodes. Qin Feng was procrastinating in a funny way, throwing away the bag of potato chips, which, eat snack mirror. The tentacles stuck to him and spun around, and he burst into laughter. Huh, let's go. Brother Zhe. Bai Ning burst out with inspiration and softly shouted, Lu Zhe, add gentle light to the original manuscript. The sketchbook was flying and injected, and he drew a reversal comic, the golden light distorted reality, and the cracks in the Legion mirror expanded. Become a hero. The bell pattern of the masked battle suit flashed, and the steam ink sword condensed the storm, piercing the boss. The heat wave of the sword energy was rolling, and the 10 tentacles melted, but Shen Qingqing smiled secretly, and the remaining pages of the original manuscript came back to bite the hero, and the explosive chip locked and exploded. It predicts your death. Lu Zhe was furious in his heart. This is the first reset, the explosion is too violent. According to the table. Gray restart. The second reset, the civil war in the bell tower escalated, Qin Feng delayed upgrading the soul-losing chip, the mirror is afraid of soul rebound. Bai Ning picked up the silver mirror fragments and gently injected inspiration, hero shield. Yan Xin broke free for a moment, and the black belly roared, zoom in. The core chip is black market, a chain of explosions. The hero jumped in, blasting the armor with hot fists, shattering the rain, but the Legion regenerated 100 times, and the soul beam struck Qin Feng. His legs gave out and he fell to the ground screaming, it's over, the soul is half-eaten. Shen Qingqing laughed wildly, the manuscript is mine, reversal is useless. The explosion crisis came again, and the bells buzzed and red lights flashed on the edge of the city. Lu Zhe gritted his teeth, the second failure, the team is injured, reset and optimize. Third press. The world is frozen. Perfect reset for the third time. Inner ecstasy, foreknowledge and omniscience, the ultimate version of the original manuscript. The 4 people positioned themselves accurately, and Qin Feng joked and threw the fragment of the magnifying glass first, devil, eat yourself. The mirror buzzed and expanded the remaining pages of Qingmei's original manuscript, and the truth panel appeared. Her core chip was counting down to self-destruction. At the peak of his inspiration, Bai Ning softly attacks the hero's afterimage. Gentle light, draw it in. The golden light of the sketchbook dances wildly, reversing the comics and injecting reality. The original manuscript backfires in the storm, the soul mirror self-destructs, and the heroic sword array seals the bell. The transformation explodes, the steam ink sword array is like a tornado, the hot fist explodes hundreds of tentacles, and the mirror chain shatters. Qingmei's pure face was twisted with fear, and the broken page burned back to bite her armor. Impossible. Your manuscript, ah. The core chip of the boss exploded, the explosion crisis turned into self-destruction of the army, black mist flew away, and the bell stopped. After the smoke and dust from the ruins of the bell tower cleared away, he coughed with his words, the silver mirror was completely reassembled, and he smiled sinisterly. Perfect cooperation, the truth is magnified and ended. Qingmei got up with a bruised nose and a swollen face. Full points for procrastination. My soul is back. Brother Zhe is awesome. Bai Ning burst into tears and hugged Lu Zhe, with her chest wet and snuggled up. Hero, you saved everyone again, so handsome. Students poured in from the square, and passers-by turned to stone for a few seconds. Explosive fanaticism, the boss is instantly killed in the triple reset of the hero. The manuscript backfires on the witch, and the 100 tentacles self-destruct. The school anniversary is extended, the soul bite is reversed, the gods are invincible. Li Kai's gang knelt down and trembled in admiration, eyes wide open, instant explosion linkage, Zhe deification peak, I made a mistake, worship eternal life. Qingmei's figure was half destroyed and fled, leaving the black market chip. Next time, the city clock. The brief tranquility is like a breath before the storm, the laughter in the club heats up, the posters sell gold coins jingle, and the team has a tacit understanding. Qingmei's funny assists, Bai Ning's gentle source of inspiration, Yan Xian's detective's imagination is invincible. Lu Zhe's heart was filled with joy, full harvest. All souls of the mirror-eating beasts are saved, the list of missing persons is cleared, the hero worships the campus legend, and the strength rises. The new manuscript is ready. But the energy of the clock is gradually depleted, and the number of resets is limited. He held Bai Ning's soft hand tightly, his eyes firm. The repair is over. The team will attack, and the bell tower will be attacked at night to save Yan Xian. Bai Ning's voice was like a fine needle piercing the smoke and dust of the ruins of the bell tower, soft but trembling. Lu Zhe, pocket watch, what's wrong with it? The red light keeps flashing, as if the heart is about to stop. Her little hand tightly grabbed the corner of Lu Zhe's clothes, her fingertips were cold. Qingmei's gentle face was now as pale as the remaining paper lanterns from the festival, the tears were not dry, and the strange red light of the pocket watch was reflected in her eyes. Around the base of the bell tower, students and passers-by were still screaming wildly, and the embers of fireworks were floating like blood spots, but their eyes had turned from hero worship to faint uneasiness, and their whispers were like the sinister wind. The hero is awesome, the 3-reset self-destructing soul mirror. But the buzzing of the pocket watch sounds like it is broken. The organization which has escaped, and the city bell predicts, it's over. Li Kai, are your legs still weak? Worship, the clock is broken and the hero is useless. The next round of the school anniversary will be to eat the souls of the city. Li Kai's gangsters slumped on the rubble, their domineering faces turned into grey defeat, their knees trembled on the ground, and they murmured to the followers, Zhe Shen, the pocket watch is red, the risk is permanently reset. We just knelt down, and now we are waiting for death. The black cloud is coming, organize the whole army. Qingmei stood up with a bruised nose and swollen face, chips bag crumbs all over his head, his carefree smile cracked for the first time, and he yelled with broken voice, damn. The energy has returned to zero. Brother Zhe reset it 3 times, the soul mirror 100 tentacles self-destructed, and now the clock is in a mess. Qingmei half destroyed the trailer the city clock, the enchantress stole the remaining pages of the original manuscript, and our iron squad's legs are weak. He picked up the black market chip on the ground. The cracks on the surface of the chip flashed red, and the fragments of the magnifying glass reflected the blurry outline of the organization's headquarters. The black shadow of the underground clock tower squirmed, and the soul data flowed like a poisonous river. He threw it to Yan Xin, his voice rarely trembling. "Sister Yan Xin, let's take a look at the reorganization of the silver mirror. This chip is a black market product, and the chain of explosions points directly to the city clock tower. Where is the headquarters hidden? But the pocket watch is useless, there is no hope of resetting it, and the team is in disgrace." After the words fell to the ground, the silver mirror was completely reorganized. He pushed the frame with cold and dark eyes, and scanned the chip sharply with suppressed panic, but his fingers trembled slightly, and his voice was as low as the rustling of a pendulum. "The truth is magnified. The underground clock tower of the organization headquarters, Qingmei's core controls the black market chip network, and the city's soul-eating prophecy has come true. Really. The hero is perfectly optimized 3 times, but the clock runs out and the risk of permanent reset, time freezes forever and you and I are all destroyed." The crack of despair flashed across her sinister face for the first time. The silver mirror buzzed and reflected the phantom, the city bell rang, the black shadow army devoured the high-rise building, and the students' souls were digitized. She bit her lip, and her inner monologue was like an ice needle. "I kidnapped the mirror girl and rescued her, and predicted the weakness to reverse the situation, but the artifact was cut off, and the detective's charm became a joke. Lu Zhe, his identity as a hero has been suppressed for too long and he was destroyed before being exposed." The passers-by around heard the whispers and exploded. The boy cosplayer threw the poster and knelt down. The hero bell was broken. The school anniversary poster was sold like crazy and now it is scrapped. Organize the Demon Girl City Bell Army to attack the border, and the black clouds are overwhelming the city, waiting for the soul to be eaten. The girls hugged each other and trembled. Yan Xin, the school bell, silver mirror, is very accurate, but now he is powerless. Damn it, the soul of the dormitory was saved and lost again. Lu Zhe's fists were clenched until his knuckles turned white. The old pocket watch trembled in his palms. The red light pulsed like blood. The energy bar was stuck at 0. His heart roared like thunder. Damn it. The climax of the soul mirror battle is exciting, the team bond is eternal, and the final version of the original manuscript is upgraded. However, the energy of the clock is exhausted, and there is a risk of permanent reset, time lock and annihilation in one day. Qingmei escapes and warns the city clock, full of ridicule. Li Kai still kneels down. Suppress it to the end first, repair daily fine-tuning, and take stock of the chip clues to raise. He deeply inhaled the sweetness of the ruined smoke mixed with the festival marshmallows, spread out his sketchbook, injected the remaining golden light into the pencil, and drew the restoration manuscript. The soul of the clock is charged, and the chip reverses the energy source. But the lines were dim, and the pocket watch only trembled slightly without responding. The surrounding students and passers-by came closer and stared in shock, whispering in shock, "Repair of Zhe painting?" Last time, the prediction of an instantaneous explosion of 100 tentacles was accurate, but now the broken bell is useless. The underground clock tower of the organization headquarters, Hero Rio. Depression filled the air like black mist. At the end of the school anniversary, the crowds dispersed. The lights of the stalls were dim, the ribbons dragged the floor like corpses, and the ruins of the bell tower were filled with ghosts and ghosts. The 4-person team evacuated tacitly and sneaked into a coffee shop on the edge of the campus to cover their daily lives. The warm yellow lights in the store are swaying, the aroma of coffee is mixed with the residual smoke of the festival, the night is overwhelming outside the window, and the distant shadow of the city clock tower is faintly red. Qin Feng ordered a giant milkshake, potato chip crumbs were scattered on the table, and he collapsed and complained, "Fighting is so exciting." After 3 resets, I stalled and turned around. Bai Ning's inspiration buff cow, Sister Yan Xion's silver mirror magnified the weak points, and Brother Zhe's steam sword array heated fists instantly explosion. But the pocket watch is red and rotten, the enchantress Shinqing's pure face is twisted and she flees, the city bell is swallowed by the black clouds, and the iron team's legs are weak at the bottom. He was confused in his heart, full marks for funny assists, now the crisis is at its peak, and the headquarters chip clues have not been reset. The waiter peeked at passers-by while he was carrying the plates, and whispered with wide eyes, "For members of the comic club? A team of heroes? There are rumors that the campus is bombed, the organization headquarters is underground, and the cafe is hiding." Admiration turns to sympathy, and dark clouds are over the city. Bai Ning leaned softly next to Lu Zhe, gently stroking the pocket watch, her chest rose and fell close to her, the curves under the bathrobe were looming, and the water droplets remained, sharing her childhood memories and suppressing her breath. "Lu Zhe, when I was a child, you drew a hero to save me from falling into a well. At that time, it was as magical as a pocket watch, now it is red. Scary. Qingmei forever, gentle buff painting restoration manuscript, I am inspired to be a model." Her tears rolled, the fragrance was fragrant, and her inner monologue was sweet and despairing. The hero is redeemed 3 times and is attached to the peak, but the artifact is broken, and the entire army of the organization headquarters. The innocence of childhood is destroyed. Yan's confidant pushed the mirror, Leng Yan sat across from him, the silver mirror magnified the chip projection table, the blueprint of the underground clock tower emerged, and the black shadow data flowed like a poisonous insect. Headquarters clues, black market chip network hacks the campus system, and strange things on the internet are a sign of soul eating. With the detective's charm, the investigation is zoomed in. But her voice trembled slightly, and passers-by and students came into the store and heard the news, "School beauty silver mirror god organized a hacker incident, the hero bell is broken and powerless, the city bell has finished ringing." The silence in the coffee shop is depressing, the milkshake straw slurps like a heartbeat, and the campus network screen outside the window flashes red and black, hacker invasion. The bulletin board scrolled wildly, soul-eating virus is downloaded, the missing list is reopened, and the organization headquarters is live broadcasting taunts. The student group went crazy, and mobile phone ringtones rang in despair, weird things happened on the internet. Photos automatically blackened the face, the hero poster turned into the smiling face of the demon Qingmei, hackers black market chip manipulation, the campus system collapsed and souls were drained. Li Kai posted, "Zaishan the bell was broken, worshipping turned to crying, the whole army was suppressing the underground clock tower of the headquarters, and the black clouds were waiting for death." Qin Feng sprayed potato chips on the table, and his legs were weak and he slapped his thigh, "Holy shit." A simple incident turned into a crisis, the hacker virus predicted the city clock, Brother Zay's pocket watch was not reset, the team was in trouble. Bai Ning burst into tears and clung to each other, "I'm so scared, all the childhood photos of Internet Soul Eater have been destroyed." Lu Zhe, the original drawing. Lu Zhe's heart sank to the bottom, and he taunted like a knife, "The permanent risks are overwhelming, but the clues of the organization headquarters are exposed but there is nothing. First suppress and then increase, the sketchbook injects the residual energy of the chip, and predicts hacking into the system." He fluttered with his notebook, and the pencil distorted the golden light and dimly injected it into the pocket watch, and drew the original manuscript on the internet, "Heroic hacker sword array, virus reverses the source of hackers." The lines were slightly bright, and the red light of the pocket watch slowly turned blue, the repair was completed. Become a hero. The bell pattern of the masked battle suit flashed faintly, and the steam ink sword condensed the data flow, directly piercing the coffee shop Wi-Fi hotspot. His fingers touched the air, the heat wave of sword energy rolled into the network, the cracks on the system screen expanded, and the black shadow of the virus melted. The surrounding students and passers-by stared at each other and turned to stone. The waiter in the cafe dropped his plate and screamed, "Heroic hacker mode." The sketching activity instantly exploded the virus, and the announcement was restored to 0. The school beauty's silver mirror magnified the god, and the Zishan clock repaired the blue light. It easily solved the hacker, and the detective charm was overwhelming. Gangster Li Kai rushed into the store, knelt on the table and trembled in worship, his eyes widened, instant black system. The clues of the virus's self-destruction headquarters were exposed, and the bottom of Zishan Valley rose, and black clouds pressed down to worship eternal life. Yan Xin's dark eyes were bright, and the silver mirror magnified the projection of the hero's sword formation, and the welfare interaction was prominent. She pulled Lu Zhe into the fitting room to try on the new COS hero suit. The heat in the narrow space hit her face, and she pushed the cold body close to the frame. Detective fitting, the mirror magnifies the weakness of your sword energy. The black belly buff, the inspiration for repairing the clock. Her silver mirror reflected the curve, her chest touched lightly, and her inner monologue was sharp and sweet. Crisis depression turns to charm, heroes touch the top of tacit understanding, headquarters clues are locked. Lu Zhe's blood surged, the sword array expanded, the network system was completely purified, and the source of black market chips locked the coordinates of the underground clock tower. Qin Feng shouted hilariously outside the door, fitting benefits? Hackers are awesome, Brother Zhe is a detective hacker god, the team is up. Bai Ning blushed and stuck to the crack of the door, tenderly sharing, when you were a child, you hacked into the game to save my account. Now the city clock, Qingmei is always buff. The 4 members of the team hugged and celebrated, the fireworks of the festival went off again, and the cheers soared to the sky. Lu Zhe's heart was filled with excitement, the climax is reversed, and the bond is eternal. But the pocket watch in his pocket suddenly trembled violently, the energy bar returned to 0 and flashed red, the countdown stopped, and the buzzing turned into a low heartbeat. The energy is exhausted, the risk is permanently reset and can no longer be used. Bai Ning noticed something strange and exclaimed softly, Lu Zhe, pocket watch. The fitting room was as narrow as a coffin, steaming steam mixed with the hum of broken silver mirrors. Shen Qingqing's pure face twisted into a cold beastly smile, half-ruined pages sprang out like poison ivy, black shadow tentacles swept away the fragments of the magnifying glass like lightning. With a flash of red light, her figure turned into smoke and fled out of the window, the mockery echoed like a pendulum. Hero Zhonglan. The artifact of the broken mirror belongs to me, all the underground clock towers open, the soul of the city will return forever. The cafe outside the door was silent for a moment. The eyes of students and passers-by were widened and petrified. The milkshake cups fell to the ground and screamed, the enchantress attacks. The silver mirror fragments fly, the school bell's heart turns pale, and the hero's fitting benefits become a disaster. Li Kai, are you kneeling and watching? The virus has just been purified, and now the headquarters of Jingdo has been exposed, and the whole army is covered by a black cloud. It's completely weak. Lu Zhe's blood surged from the sword formation and the heat wave of data was still left on his fingertips. His heart felt like he was falling into an ice cave and whirling wildly, damn it. The small victory was slightly raised, and the tacit understanding of the fitting touched the sweet spot. The blue light of the pocket watch only temporarily stabilized the permanent risk pressure. The mirror fragments were lost and the headquarters blueprint was cut off. Shen Qingqing counterattacked with a ferocious smile, and organized an artifact to control the city's soul-eating prophecy, first suppressing the base point in the valley, injecting residual energy tracking into the sketchbook, and making a strategic plan to counter-kill ready. No. Reset practice. The energy is low and everything will be destroyed in one try, sacrificing the Bai Ning trap as bait. The team bond is the best, and it's great to suppress the bounce. He pushed the curtain of the fitting room fiercely, and the bell pattern of the masked suit flashed faintly, and the steam ink sword pierced the night outside the window, but the black shadow disappeared, leaving only the red glow of the chip floating like blood mist. Potato chips were sprayed all over the floor outside Qin Feng's door. His nose was bruised and his face was swollen. He collapsed and screamed. His legs were weak and he threw himself into the fitting room and dragged Lu Zhe, Brother Zhe. The enchantress fled in the heat of the welfare fitting, the silver mirror flew into pieces and the headquarters coordinates were locked, and the iron squad mirror broke his leg. Soft Valley. But I picked up broken chips in the black market, can I take a look with a magnifying glass instead? He was confused in his heart and burst into laughter. The assists are perfect, the mirror is lost, and the hacker's small victory turns miserable. Brother Zay is trying to trick me into optimizing. Yan's confidant, with a dark face and a pale face, pushed the empty frame, picked up the broken mirror from the ground with trembling fingers, and scanned the chip with sharp eyes. The detective's charm is broken, the silver mirror is reassembled but the chip is projected. The underground clock tower of the headquarters, Qingmei uses the fragments to control the black market network. The artifact is combined, the city's soul devours. Bai Ning's body limply clung to Lu Zay's arms, her chest heaving and clinging to her with gentle tears, and the water droplets on her bathrobe loomed over her curves. Lu Zay. I'm afraid of losing my green plum in the mirror, but my childhood hero painted me to save me, and now I'm organizing the whole army. I'm so gentle and sticky, and I'm chasing him. Passers-by in the cafe gathered around to watch the frying pan. Gangster Li Kai knelt down on the table, eyes wide open and trembling. He worshipped and turned to fear. Zay Shen tries on clothes and hacker God, the virus instantly explodes and worships Yong. The demon girl's mirror capture headquarters is fully activated. Black clouds are crushing the city and souls are waiting to die. Are our legs weak in following the team? The waiter's plate shattered to the ground, and the girls hugged and screamed. The school bell's silver mirror is shattered, and the hero Zhong Lan is powerless. At the end of the school anniversary. In the dark of night, there is a rumor that the organization is hiding in the abandoned factory. Chase him and finish. Lu Zay fisted his pocket watch and the blue light trembled slightly, and the inner game was like a sword. The ridicule is full of passers-by, permanent risks and hidden dangers are suppressed, the mirror is lost and the supply is cut off, but the chip clues are exposed. Pursue the layout of the abandoned factory. Qin Feng zooms in to reveal the secret, reset and practice tactical fine-tuning. Sacrifice the trap. Bai Ning lures the enemy to easily eliminate the mobs. The celebrations of daily submissions are interspersed with ease, and the bond of complaining is at its peak. He spread out his sketchbook, injected the golden light of his pencil into the chip remnant, and traced the original draft. The black shadow path leads to the abandoned factory, and the heroic sword formation is locked. The lines jumped, and the blue light of the pocket watch stabilized for a moment. The four-person team rushed out of the cafe in tacit understanding. The night wind rolled the festival ribbons like ghost flags, and the rusty black shadow loomed in the abandoned factory on the edge of the campus. The night is overwhelming, and the abandoned factory looks like the carcass of a giant beast. The rusty iron doors creak and scream, the internal conveyor belt breaks like broken bones, oil drums roll down black oil like a river of blood, and the air is rotten and mixed with clear fragrance. Passers-by watched from a distance and whispered in panic, the heroic team is chasing the demon girl. The factory monster talks about the soul-eating source, the organization guards the black shadow crawler. Zhong Lan has no reset, his legs are weak and all are destroyed. Li Kai, are you crazy? Worship the chasing team. The scrap iron pile is covered by black clouds, the city bell rings and predicts destruction. Qin Feng took the lead in picking up subway wire, replacing the magnifying glass mode is turned on, the black market chip presses into the iron wire and buzzes, and the fragmented clues are enlarged into a comic projection. The blueprint appears. Qingmei's innocent smile controls the clock plus mirror plus manuscript. The artifact triangle merges into the black shadow monster to summon. The soul data of the city's high-rise buildings is extracted like a river and flows into the underground. Clock tower. Qin Feng yelled with his legs weak, and his voice broke, damn. The comic reveal is awesome. The organization's artifact controls the soul of the city, the broken pages of the witch plus the broken mirror combine to form a black beast. The headquarters is fully open to press the situation. Brother Zay, reset the practice. The energy is low, I am procrastinating and being funny. Yan's confidant pushed the iron wire, his cold eyes were bright and sharp, and he had an inner monologue. The detective girl's mirror is broken, but the chip comic is accurate, the headquarters blueprint is locked, the hero's tacit understanding during the fitting is sweet, and the crisis turns from depression to resourcefulness buff. Bai Ning gently clings to Lu Zay's waist, touches the blue glow of the pocket watch with her small hand, and whispers with a proud red face, "Lu Zhe, I'm going to fall into the green plum trap. Gentle bait is inspiring, draw my original manuscript to redeem sweetness." Lu Zhe's inner game is sinking again. Bai Ning's sacrifice trap is extremely low, guarding the mobs easily solves the bullets, practicing tactics reset and fine-tuning. Is there a permanent risk of low energy? Taking stock of chip comics, optimizing the sword array to lock the headquarters, and making team complaints easy with daily contributions and celebrations. He nodded and drew a sketch of the trap in his sketchbook. Bai Ning lures the black shadow, and the hero hides and explodes instantly. The blue light of the pocket watch flashes, and the time is micro-reset. The world rewinds for 3 seconds, the rust door of the factory creaks heavily. Bai Ning deliberately trips over the oil drum, the black oil splashes and wets the curve of the bathrobe, and the tentacles of the guarding monster's black shadow shoot out like 100 insects. The little monster guard screamed like a bell, and his tentacles were oily and sticky, curling around his waist. Her gentle face was pale and she screamed, "Lu Zhe, the trap is sweet and scary, the green plum's soul will be destroyed." Qin Feng threw out the bag of potato chips and shouted, "Funny, ugly little monster." Xuanzhuanel assists, Brother Zhe resets the training god. Passers-by peeked at the petrification from a distance, and Li Kai and the gangsters knelt outside the iron net. Eyes wide open in fear, he turned to admiration. The Qingmei trap is tragic, the guard is a 100-touched mini-boss, the hero Zhonglan is powerless. Worship and wait for death. Yan Xin's silver mirror's broken iron wire magnified the weakness, and coolly pushed the frame, detective locked, tentacle oil core explosion point. Lu Zhe lurked in the iron beam, and the outcome of the inner game was settled. Bai Ning ran in tears at the bottom of the depression, taunting passers-by to kneel down, raise it. The reset practice is perfect, and the hot fist of the sword formation kills instantly. Transformed into a hero, the bell pattern flashes, the steam ink sword condenses the oil fire, the heat wave rolls straight into the core of the mob, the tentacles melt and the black oil evaporates, and the residue floats like fireworks. The guard mobs exploded, the iron frame around them trembled, passers-by screamed and worshipped and exploded, hero concealed and exploded instantly. Reset and practice 3-second optimization, Qingmei trap turned into savior, easily solved the mob's weak legs. Li Kai roared wildly, Zhe Shen sword formation's hot fist oil exploded with 100 touches, Zhonglan's energy was stable, the headquarters clue revealed worshipping eternal life. Xiao Xing raised the black clouds, but it was great. Bai Ning was rescued and Lu Zihui, when soft tears rolling down her chest with blood, hero training sweet rescue, Qingmei buff inspiration burst, submit a comic to celebrate. Qin Feng rushed forward with a bruised nose and swollen face, and squirted milkshake in a fool's errand. Reset practice is awesome. Monsters can be easily killed instantly. Xuanzhuanel gets full marks for procrastination, and the team has a tacit understanding. Daily submissions are successfully interspersed, comic book club posters are selling like crazy to celebrate. Brother Zhe, can you draw the whole picture of the headquarters from the original manuscript? The team withdrew from the factory. The night breeze was cool and mixed with oil fumes, and they sneaked back into the comic book club for daily cover. The lights in the agency are warm and yellow, the manuscripts are stacked like a mountain, and the submission envelopes are shining with gold. The first issue of Heroes in Disguise Hidden Everyday Life is selling like hot cakes, and reader posters are going viral on campus. Bai Ning posed proudly as a model, changed her bathrobe into a COS hero skirt, and her curves inspired her nose. She shared, Lu Zhe, the submission was successful and my childhood dream came true. Qingmei was inspired by the gentle buff, and I complained about the weak monsters in the organization. Contribute your imagination, and predict the integration of the headquarters artifacts. The tacit understanding of fitting benefits continues, and you can easily complain about the crisis. Qin Feng's potato chips were all over the table, and he jumped on the table with weak legs and shouted, "Cheers to the milkshakes for submitting the article." The demon girl's mirror is broken, but the chip comic god, Shen Qingqing controls the summoning of the black beast in the city. Reset practice is great, the iron team is up. Lu Zhe's heart was filled with joy, and he was slightly wary. The blue light of the sketchbook headquarters original manuscript was injected into his pocket watch and stabilized. Smart layout, small victory, daily submission, easy to feather the top, but sweet, but permanent risks. The organization is ready. Shen Qingqing's remaining pages are synthesized. The club cheered, and passers-by and students poured in to worship. Comic submissions accurately predict heroes. Monsters explode, posters instantly live. The Zishan team is so charming. The campus festival continues to celebrate. Gangster Li Kai knelt outside the door, his eyes widened in admiration and trembling. Submit your articles and worship. Shaoxing will live forever in the abandoned factory. The dark clouds of the headquarters are overwhelming, but Zishan is invincible. Suddenly, the ground in the direction of the factory rang like a bell, and the chip projection buzzed and a giant black silhouette appeared. Shen Qingqing's innocent smile summoned, and the urban crisis black beast was approaching. Qin Feng's potato chips fell to the ground and he yelled, "The giant beast is coming." The warm yellow lights of the comics club instantly twisted into blood-red ripples, the chip projection expanded like a living thing, and the outline of a giant black shadow burst out from the buzzing wires. Countless tentacles like city sewer worms, ink-like black mist billowed toward the campus square. The lights of high-rise buildings swayed, and the soul data was extracted like a blue ghost, and the screaming bell shattered the glass and rained down. The school anniversary ribbon breaks like severed limbs flying, students and passers-by scream and scatter, the milkshake stand overturns, sweet and bloody mixture, the bell tower in the distance rumbles. Shen Qing's innocent smile appears in the center of the projection, the broken page of the mirror is broken into an arm that flashes like a poisonous blade. Hero Zhonglan. The artifact triangle belongs to me. The soul-eating beast is fully activated. The campus will be devoured forever. Circle. The air was as rotten as corpse gas. Passers-by fell down and couldn't get up. Their eyes were cracked and their legs were weak and they knelt down. The monster's black shadow destroyed the campus. The submitted hero poster became real. Zishan Shaoxing abandoned the factory and turned miserable. His soul was twitching and his legs were weak and waiting for death. Li Kai, you kneel down and scream. The worship of eternal life collapses. The clock tower of the organization headquarters is covered with black clouds, and the dead soul flies away. Qin Feng's bag of potato chips shattered on the ground, his nose was bruised and his face was swollen. He threw himself on the table leg and roared, his heart bursting with laughter like a milkshake fountain. Submission to celebrate turning to the peak of robbery. The giant beast's tentacles are crushing the campus 100 meters away, and I am delaying the perfect score. Brother Zhe resets the burst energy to destroy the group. Yan's confidant secretly pushed the iron wire of the broken frame, his cold eyes sharply scanned the projection, and his trembling fingers pinched the red glow of the chip. The detective has locked in the weak point of the artifact's combination, the core of the bell tower, the broken page veins, but the giant beast ravaged the campus and devoured it first, and our iron wire projection was cut off and our legs were weak at the bottom. Bai Ning's soft body clung to Lu Zhe's arms, and the gentle face with pale tears fell down the curve of the cos hero's skirt undulating and clinging tightly. She whispered arrogantly, chest tightness, Lu Zhe. Qingmei's inspired submission dream turned into a dark shadow and soul-eating fear, and the gentle buff sticks to the bait before adding it. Passers-by outside the company rushed to worship and panic. Li Kai, the gangster leader, kneeled at the window with his eyes wide open. The admiration trembled and turned to despair. Zishan's submission is a god who is sure to explode the mobs instantly. The outline of the giant beast is vividly crushed in the campus, and the hero Zhonglan has no reset. Our legs are so weak that we are chasing after the team's souls. Lu Zhe felt like he was falling into an ice cave. The game was whirling wildly, the blue light of his pocket watch was trembling slightly, the energy was at its lowest point, and the fragments of the sketchbook on his fingertips were flying. The ridicule was full of passers-by. Shen Qingqing synthesized superpowers to counterattack at the peak. The giant beast ravaged the campus, sucked the soul out of the high-rise building, and predicted the destruction of the city. First suppressed the despair and inventory, continuously reset and practice. Extreme fine-tuning. Qin Feng delayed the reasoning and brainstorming, and the multi-layered original manuscript was reversed. Risk of permanently wiping out the group with low energy. The team bond is extremely cool when the team is down, and the transformation cards are all ready. He held his pocket watch violently and the blue light flashed, the bell pattern on the masked suit loomed, and the steam ink sword pierced the club gate into the night. All the team is out. Reset the chain lock monster. The 4 people rushed out of the comic club. The campus square has become a purgatory, and the black shadow tentacles smashed the water column of the fountain like blood mist. The explosion exploded, the students screamed and rolled to the ground, the colored lights were cut off and the black curtain overwhelmed the sky. Shen Qingqing's figure descended from the projection of the bell tower, with a cold and sinister smile on his innocent face. The broken pages waved their arms and shattered the red light, and the giant beast's head roared and appeared. Thousands of black eyes stared at the river of souls pouring in. The combination of demon and goddess instruments is super explosive. Soul eating at the end of the campus festival, hero Zhonglan faked his submission. Passers-by's souls twitched their legs and fell to their knees. Li Kai knelt on the pile of ribbons, his eyes bulging in fear and led his younger brother to climb the wall to get a closer look. The girl screamed and hugged her knees, the giant beast's tentacles rolled people's souls away, and the Zishan team was late. Qin Feng led the potato chip bag and threw out the spinner music to delay, and the black market wire chips pressed entering the projection, buzzing and magnifying the weak points. The cartoon appeared. Damn. The detective replaces the awesome, the broken page has the second explosive point of the oil core, the behemoth's heart is hidden in the clock tower. I roared funny and dragged the small tentacles. Brother Zay reset the burst optimization. The tentacles swept over, his legs went weak and the milkshake bottle exploded and the sticky blockage exploded, and he complained in his heart with excitement, assist is full of danger, the behemoth crushes the school and I spin in circles for fun. Yan's confidant flashed the wire and pushed the frame, his cold eyes bright and deduced like a sword. Detective charm lock, mirror-shattering red light controls the upper reaches of the Soul River. Broken veins reverse summons. Lu Zhe, original multi-layered painting. Bai Ning tripped the tentacles gently, her cos skirt was soaked and curved close to her body, inspiration burst out, and her little hand stroked the sketchbook. Green plum bait is sweet, draw my pose against the dark shadow, gentle buff contributes to the peak of spiritual light. Lu Zhe's pocket watch beeped 3 times in a row, resetting and rewinding for 5 seconds. The gray fog of the world was distorted, and the water column in the square was swept with tentacles and exploded again. His inner game was lost, the reset failed for the first time, the giant beast's super suppression energy was consumed by half. Shen Qingqing laughed ferociously, hit the bottom again. The second reset, the blue light flashed out of the edge, he transformed into the hero Zhonglan and charged forward, the heat wave of the steam ink sword rolled and stabbed the core of the tentacle. But the red light of the broken page counterattacked and the sword shattered and spurted hot blood, and the giant beast roared and the Soul River rolled back to the team. Passers-by screamed in petrification in the distance, the hero's reset failed. Zhong Lanjian's explosion turned tragic, the soul-devouring campus high-rise building, Zai Shen's legs were weak and the team was worshipped. Li Kai cried like crazy, Xiao Sheng's dream of ruining the factory, the giant beast's 1,000 eyes crushing the invincible, the team knelt down and waited for death. Qin Feng's nosebleed sprayed potato chips, his legs were weak and trailing tentacles shouted, Brother Zay. The third reset can be the quality is low. Let me carry it. The submitted poster is so accurate that it predicts the future. His words were shattered, and his cold face was white as he pushed the iron wire. The detective predicts that the third fine-tuning of the vein is broken, the hero's trump card. Bai Ning's tears ran down Lu Zhe's waist, and his tender chest was filled with blood. Lu Zhe. Qingmei is afraid of soul devouring, and the inspired manuscript draws me to reverse the situation. After the third reset, the blue light of his pocket watch buzzed on the verge of collapse. The time was rewinded for 8 seconds and the gray fog was thick. Lu Zhe's heart exploded, suppressed by 3 consecutive defeats. Passers-by laughed and kneeled down in despair. The energy was low and I fought for my life, it was so refreshing. Multi-layered manuscripts are infused with residual energy, and the sword array is optimized to absorb the Soul River in reverse. The golden light dances wildly in the sketchbook. The first layer draws Bai Ning's pose to decoy tentacles, the second layer Yan Xin iron wire vein lock, the third layer Qin Feng Zuanzhuanal delays the explosive point, and the ultimate layer Hero Zhong Lanhua sword pierces the core of the bell tower. The lines are jumping, the reality is distorted, the inspiration buff of the original manuscript is bursting, and the giant beast's tentacles are stagnant and the Soul River flows backward. Shen Qingqing's innocent face was distorted and she roared, "Impossible." The broken page mirror is super soul-eating, Zhong Lan's original manuscript is reversed. Her arms flashed with red light, and the giant beast's head roared with thousands of eyes exploding with blood. The bell pattern of the heroic Zhonglan suit is fully opened, the steam ink sword condenses multiple layers of hot fists like a meteor shower, pierces the oil core of the tentacle with a bang, the black mist evaporates and the fire waves roll, and the blue light of the Soul River bites back at the clock tower. Qin Feng's potato chips exploded with sticky tentacles, and he shouted in a funny voice, "Full score for assists. Reset 3 consecutive optimization instant kills, the giant beast's legs are weak and kneel down, I'm happy to spin." Yan Xinxin's black flash jump wire projection veins are broken, cold eyes are sweet and sharp, pushing the remaining pages, detective reverses the lock, the mirror is shattered and the red light is shattered. The original draft of Bai Ning's gentle pose comes to life, and the Cos skirt spiritual light body protection bait turns to the sword array buff. Green Mei Tian reverses the shadow, and Lu Zhe's heroic submission is real. Passers-by climbed up from the edge of the square, their eyes were wide open, and they burst into mad worship. The hero's multi-layered manuscript is against the sky. Reset 3 consecutive valley pressing bombs, the giant beast 1,000 touches instantly explodes the Soul River backlash, and the Zishan team worships eternal life. Li Kai knelt down and roared and led the gangsters to charge. Zhonglan sword formation's hot fists exploded with oil, and the campus salvation leg weakened and worshipped, and the submitted poster appeared invincible. The center of the clock tower exploded with a roar, and the remains of the black shadow beast shot up into the sky like a mountain of fireworks. Shen Qingqing's figure shone with red light and retreated, with a pure and sinister smile twisted, small victory. Zhonglan's energy collapsed, and the conspiracy in the center of the city was finally unleashed. The soul-eating circle will return forever. She turned into smoke and fled into the night sky, and the fragments of the remaining pages were floating like blood rain. In the center of the square where the team took a breather, the colorful lights were turned on again and students cheered. The blue light of the soul returned to the high-rise buildings and the lights were bright. Qin Feng's bruised nose and swollen face hit Lu Zhe's shoulder, and Jiao Erlang laughed like a milkshake, "Brother Zhe." Reset the continuous burst of awesome reversals, the giant beast center destroys my delay, the team's tacit understanding is at its peak. Wait, is your masked Zhonglan's voice familiar? Zhe. Iron Squad certification. Bai Ning burst into tears, and her arrogant red-faced chest patch opened her battle suit. Lu Zhe's heroic childhood dream, the source of inspiration for the submission, transformed into a sweet and eternal redemption. Lu Zhe's inner game exploded, and the blue light of his pocket watch continued to alert. Partners recognize each other's initial identities and embrace, but Shen Qingqing's final conspiracy to escape from the city center. Passerby Li Kai led the gangsters to kneel down and worship, with bulging eyes and trembling shouts of admiration. The true identity of Zhonglan, the hero of Zishan, has been revealed. The multi-layered original manuscript reverses the giant beast, and the campus soul saves the soul. Kneel down and worship forever, and the city crisis continues to pursue. The students screamed and hugged the team, and the ribbons were wrapped around each other and cheers surged. Hero team submission God, the giant beast instantly destroys the center, it's so exciting, Zhonglan and Lu Zhe are invincible. Qin Feng picked up potato chips and broke his voice excitedly, recognize the hero Brother Zhe, the Iron Squad will start a city battle. The demon girl finally launched a conspiracy dash. Suddenly, the high-rise buildings in the center of the city rang again, and the outline of the black fog loomed. The bell tower made a loud noise, and Qing's taunt echoed in the night sky, "Come on, hero Zhong Lan." The cheers in the campus square surged like a tidal wave. Under the night sky with the lanterns relit, the screams of the students were mixed with the crisp sound of flying ribbons. Li Kai and a group of boys knelt down. His eyes were so wide that they seemed to burst, and his nose and tears were flowing. He shouted, "Zai Shinzhong Lan." The giant beast instantly explodes the center, the soul river reverses and worships eternal life. Our legs are weak. Kneel down and follow. The girls rushed towards each other, their cosplay skirts fluttered and stuck to the team, screaming and worshipping. The hero team is perfect in submitting, reversing the redemption of the shadow campus. Lu Zhe is invincible. Qin Feng picked up the bag of potato chips with a bruised nose and a swollen face, and laughed out loud as he sprayed milkshake. Brother Zhe is certified to be in the Iron Team. The demon girl is in full swing. Ridiculing urban warfare, turning around and enjoying the benefits. Wait, the high-rise building is ringing with black fog, and the bell tower is full of soul-eating sounds. Yan Xinzhong's cold eyes sharply glanced at the broken wire frame in the distance, picked up the red glow of the chip, and pushed the frame with a sneer. Detective locked, the abandoned area of the amusement park in the center of the city. Qing's broken pages were synthesized into the final layer, black fog. The outline summons the eternal looping beast. We pretend to be having fun and sneak in to investigate the clues. Bai Ning gently clings to Lu Zhe's arms, the COS hero's skirt is soaked and the curves are undulating and clinging tightly. The arrogant red face whispers with tears in her chest, "Lu Zhe hero." Qingmei's sweet celebration turns to crisis, the amusement park fund benefits complain, the inspiration manuscript is reversed. Lu Zhe's inner game was as suppressed as a volcano, the blue light of his pocket watch was buzzing at the low point of energy, and the broken pages of his fingertip sketchbook were flying and taking stock. The bond of partner certification was released at its peak. Qing escaped from the city center, and the final conspiracy was full of black fog. First suppressed and pretended to be a new daily amusement park investigation, passers-by's admiration turned to ridicule, and the legs were weak and depressed at the bottom, and finally reset and reversed the entire organization. The bell pattern of his masked battle suit disappeared, the steam ink sword closed its sleeves and roared, the Iron Squad changed into amusement park disguises. A relaxing small incident of welfare complaints to warm up, locking the core broken page context of the amusement park clock tower, full open. The four of them rushed out of the square to embrace the tide. Night the wind carries the lingering fragrance of the milkshake's sweet blood mist. The lights of the taxi sway and head straight to the amusement park on the edge of the city. The neon sign of Dream Loop Paradise twists and flickers like a will-o'-the-wisp. Black mist seeps from the base of the Ferris wheel. The ground rumbles in low frequency and shatters the street lamps. Rain pours down on the glass. The entrance to the amusement park is sparsely crowded, the marshmallow stand is filled with sweet and rancid smells, the roller coaster track is rusty and humming like a giant beast panting, passers-by couples scream and dodge the tentacles of black mist, and a vendor kneels with weak legs and shouts. Weird things happen in the amusement park, black shadows bite people, souls are sucked into high-rise buildings, and the wheel spins forever, and the dream collapses and the legs are weak and waiting for death. Qin Feng bought 4 tickets and pretended to be potato chips, and his heart burst with laughter, the peak of disguised welfare. The fun in the amusement park makes me complain about small incidents. Brother Zhe, the hero Zhong Lan, certified me that I am procrastinated in Zuanzhuanal, and the behemoth summoning in the black fog clock tower is overwhelming. He took the lead and rushed into the carousel area. The red eyes of the Trojan horse flashed vividly. His confidant pushed the wire chip projection scan. His sweet and sharp eyes picked up the broken glasses discarded on the roadside. Detective magnifying glass predicted, small incident robbery group on the street, broken page clues hidden in the clock tower of the amusement park, disguised playing with welfare locks the weak point. Bai Ning gently pulled Lu Zhe's hand to sit on the bumper car, her tsundra COS skirt fluttered and curved tightly, her chest was tight and she whispered with inspiration. Lu Zhe shared the inspiration for painting. Qingmei poses Trojan horse against the black mist, gentle buff amusement welfare sweet tacit understanding upgrade. As the bumper cars collided with each other, Lu Zhe's sketchbook flew around and drew a welfare routine, the first layer of Bai Ning's cosplay carousel pose, the second layer of Yan Xin's wire projection, the third layer of Qin Feng's potato chips, and the inner monologue briskly complained, new daily routine pretends to be an amusement park warm-up, the team's tacit understanding is at its peak. Small robbery incidents are easily solved with magnifying glass predictions, suppressing the ridicule of passers-by, ready. Suddenly, the glass of a bank branch on the street in the park shattered, and 5 masked robbers rushed out with guns. The red light from the guns flashed, and the black mist tentacles rolled up the soles of passers-by. Passers-by screamed and rolled to the ground, their eyes were split open and their legs were weak and they were crawling on their knees, robbery of the group demon artifact. The black fog and soul-eating bank exploded in the amusement park. The hero Zhonglan's small victory in the campus turned miserable. His legs were weak and he knelt down in worship and waited for death. The couple vendor yelled like crazy, submit poster God granted, the behemoth summoned the eternal circle of the bank and the souls have been drained. The robber leader waved his broken arm with a ferocious smile, and the red light-formed tentacles rolled into the money bag and the soul river emerged, organizational welfare. Master Shenqingqing's bell tower is fully opened, and the hero Zhonglan's energy collapses and his legs collapse. Qin Feng's bag of potato chips shattered on the ground, his nose was bruised, his face was swollen, his legs were weak, he was rolling over in a bumper car and stalling, and he yelled in a funny voice, "Damn!" A small incident of robbery is transferred to the outpost of the organization, and I'm going to spin the milkshake and fry the sticky tentacles. Brother Zay's magnifying glass predicts optimization. Yan's confidant black dodged and pushed the wire to push the chip, his cold face was white and trembling, he pushed the frame and the magnifying glass predicted that the cartoon appeared, the robber's weakness, the red light vein oil core, the second explosion point, the lines distorted the reality of bank glass reorganization. Passers-by turned to stone in the distance and shouted horribly, "Detective girl wire projection cow." The robbery tentacles are frozen in the river, but the black fog clock tower is ringing loudly, and the hero belatedly destroys the group. Bai Ning gently stumbles on the tentacles, and the cos skirt is soaked. Inspired sketchbook, green plum bait is sweet, draw my pose to counter robbery, Lu Zhe shares inspiration and benefits tacitly. The blue light of Lu Zhe's pocket watch trembles slightly, the first layer of the sketchbook predicts the breaking of the thread, the second layer Qin Feng delays the explosion point, the tentacles evaporate in the fire wave, and the robber leader retreats with a roar of red light. Passers-by stood up and bulged their eyes in admiration and then exploded, instant kill for small incidents. The original manuscript of the detective magnifying glass is reversed, the team pretends to be amusement and welfare gods, worship the weak legs forever. Easily solving a street robbery to warm up, the team's tacit understanding is upgraded like lightning. Bai Ning notices the faint blue light of Lu Zhe's pocket watch, and that Sundra whispers with a blushing face, "Lu Zhe, there are more secrets in the clock." Qingmei's gentle inspiration source detects the loop, the sweet investigation of the amusement park entertainment benefits continues. Lu Zhe's heart game shared briskly, the three of you are at the peak of painting inspiration. Bai Ning poses as a wooden horse against the black fog, Detective Yan Xin sharply locks the pulse, Qin Feng is full of funny delays, the core of the clock tower is near. The four disguised themselves and went deep into the amusement park, and the outline of the clock tower emerged from the base of the Ferris wheel as black fog rolled in. Shenqingqing in the center of the projection of the pure figure, the arm of the broken page merges with the whole organization's artifact and the red light shines. The giant eternal circle beast roars out from the ground, 10,000 tentacles and ink maniacs eat the sky. The river of souls pulls away the lights of the high-rise buildings and flies away. The high-altitude fireworks twist blood red. High heels are shattered. Passers-by's souls twitch and kneel down, the demon girl's conspiracy finally unfolds. The giant monsters in the amusement park clock tower are gathered together, the hero Zhonglan Shaoxing turns to the bottom of the misery, and the soul devours the city forever, and the legs are weak and worships him to death. The amusement park tourists cried wildly, the submission god approved the fake, the black mist silhouette rolled the Ferris wheel, the teen pretended to have fun and destroyed the group to ridicule. Qin Feng's potato chip fountain collapsed, and the fool jumped on the Ferris wheel with weak legs. He complained in his heart of despair, welfare complaints have turned into disasters. The giant beast is attacking the city in 10,000 touches amusement park, and I am delaying the perfect score in Zhuangzhuanal. Brother Zay's clock finally resets the energy collapse group. The confidant of Yen pressed the black wire chip on the projection, his cold eyes widen and trembling as he pushed the broken frame. The detective predicts the lock, the artifact is fully synthesized and weak, the oil core of the remaining page of the clock tower's eternal circle core exploded 3 times, but the 10,000 soul river suppressed our iron wire and cut off the supply. Our legs are weak in the valley of despair. Bai Ning's soft body clung to Lu Zay's waist, her gentle face was pale and tears ran down her cos skirt's curves with hot blood. Lu Zay hero, Qingmei's inspiration is afraid of the circle, and the gentle buff sticks to the amusement park bait and fights again. Tourists and passers-by flocked to worship and panicked. Vendor Li Kai knelt down in recognition, his eyes bulging from admiration to trembling in despair. Zay Shen's team's amusement welfare instant kill and robbery, the giant beast will circle forever and touch the city. Zhonglan Wu finally resets his legs and kneels down. Lu Zay's heart was as deep as a game in an ice cave. The blue light of his pocket watch was buzzing on the edge of collapse and the countdown flashed, final reset. The golden light danced wildly on the broken pages of his fingertip sketchbook, passers-by mocked and kneeled down at the peak of despair, and Shenqingqing's whole organization synthesized super-powerful counterattacks in an eternal circle, extremely low desire to explode, the most exciting thing in the book. The final manuscript was infused with multiple layers of residual energy, and the sword array soul river reversed and devoured the clock tower and destroyed it. He held his pocket watch fiercely and the blue light flashed and nearly disappeared, the bell patterns on the masked suit were fully opened and the steam ink sword was rolling with heat, full support of the iron team. Finally reset the locking beast. The gray fog distortion of the world failed to reset for the first time, the one-touch sweep Ferris wheel rails exploded and spurted hot blood, and the team's soul river rolled back and weakened its legs. Passers-by screamed and petrified, the hero finally resets the losing streak. Zhonglan's sword was shattered and turned miserably, the amusement park monster devoured the city and the high-rise building was whipped, the team was wiped out and the legs were weak and they were kneeling forever. Qin Feng's nosebleed milkshake shouted, Brother Zay. The second low-energy fight, I delay and turn around. Yan Xin's silver frame shattered and pushed the wire, detective's trump card, vain fine-tuning 3 explosions. Bai Ning's tears stuck to her chest patch, Lu Zay. Qingmei sweet reverse. After the second reset, the gray fog was thick and the blue light disappeared. Lu Zay transformed into the hero Zhonglan and stabbed the core with an ink-charged sword, but the red light of the remaining page counterattacked and the sword destroyed the soul and crushed the top. Shenqingqing's pure and sinister smile distorted the projection, hero Zhonglan's small victory is good? The whole artifact will forever circle and eat the soul, I regret it. The organization has assembled the invincible legs to kneel down. After the third reset, the pocket watch buzzed and cracked, the blue light exploded, and the time was rewinded for 10 seconds. Lu Zay's heart was filled with excitement, 3 consecutive defeats are the ultimate. The 10 levels of inspiration in the final manuscript are fully activated, Bai Ning bait, Yan Xin locking pulse, Qin Feng delay, and the heroic sword formation counterattacks the eternal beast. The golden light of the sketchbook vibrates and distorts reality, and the lines from the 1st to the 10th level are vividly displayed. The Trojan horse pose induces the 10,000 people to freeze, the iron wire projection explodes the oil core 3 times, the sticky potato chips of Zhuangzhuanal block the soul river, and the hot fist meteor shower of Zhonglan Majian directly pierces the core of the eternal circle of the clock tower. The giant beast touches the stagnant soul river and flows backwards. The black mist evaporates and the sea of fire rises into the sky. Shenqingqing projects a pure face, twists and despairs, roars with regret and collapses, impossible. The entire organization's artifacts are synthesized into an eternal circle, and Zhonglan's final original manuscript is reversed. Oh my God! I regret coveting the clock. The broken pages and mirrors shattered, shattering my soul and shattering my dreams. Her arm exploded with red light, and the fragments rained blood. The remains of the eternal beast fell into flames, and the center of the clock tower shattered and the high-rise lights returned brightly. Qin Feng's potato chips exploded with sticky tentacles, and he shouted in a funny voice, "Full marks for assists." Finally reset the 10th level of instant kills, the giant beast's legs are weak and I kneel down, and the team's tacit understanding is the best. Yan Xin flashed across the iron wire to break his veins, his cold eyes sweetly widened and trembled and pushed the remaining page, detective reverse lock, the core of the eternal circle is broken. Bai Ning tenderly poses the original manuscript to protect the body, and the Cos skirt spiritual light buff explodes. Qingmei sweetly detects the secret, Lu Zhe the hero's ultimate manuscript is eternal. Passers-by stood up in the square, their eyes widened with fear, and they knelt down in admiration and shouted, "Hero Zhonglan's ultimate manuscript is completely open." 3 consecutive resets are the best, and Shenqingqing's entire organization collapsed. Defeated and regretted kneeling down, the soul of the city was saved and worshipped the immortal deified. Li Kai led the gangsters to kneel down, their eyes bulged and trembled in worship. The monster in the amusement park exploded instantly, Zhonglan and Lu Zhe's real body was revealed to be invincible, and the submitted poster was at its peak. The cafe erupted with cheers, and passers-by sprayed nosebleeds in admiration. The hero easily hacked the system, the virus exploded the headquarters and was exposed. Zhonglan repaired it, and the campus network continued to live. However, the depression did not dissipate, and Lu Zhe was wary in his heart. It's a small victory, but the pocket watch is only slightly repaired, the permanent risk is hidden, the whole map of the organization headquarters is ready, but Shenqingqing. Suddenly, the silver mirror in the fitting room buzzed and shattered, and a pure and cold black shadow came out. Shenqingqing's half-destroyed page flashed, and he sneaked in with his tentacles to steal the fragments of the magnifying glass. Fireworks poured down like a galaxy, the Ferris wheel in the amusement park slowly rotated, and the colored lights illuminated the sweaty faces of the 4 team members. The night wind carried the sweetness of caramel marshmallows and the inkiness of the black mist. Passers-by and tourists climbed up from the ground, their knees trembling, and they knelt together, their eyes wide. Protruding like broken amber, they roared in unison and shattered the glass residue, Hero Zhonglan's ultimate original manuscript divine power. The behemoth in the amusement park exploded instantly with 10,000 contacts. Shenqingqing's entire organization was defeated and regretted kneeling down. The city's soul rescued worshipped the pinnacle of immortality and deification. Li Kai led a group of young people. The younger brother rushed forward, his nose and tears were flowing, his legs were weak, and his ferocious smile turned into worship and twisted and shouted, "Zishan Team Entertainment benefits instant kill. Recognize Zhonglan's real body and be invincible, the center of the giant beast's eternal circle is shattered, our legs will be weak and we will follow, and the submitted poster will be passed on to the whole school." Female. A group of student cosplayers rushed towards them, their skirts flew up and stuck to Bai Ning's cos hero skirt, and they screamed and worshipped. The campus festival is reversed and the welfare is sweet, the Iron Squad detective girl's magnifying glass is locked, Qingmei poses as a Trojan bait god, the hero submission god is quasi-eternal. Qin Feng picked up the remains of the potato chip bag with a bruised nose and swollen face, and squirted out the last sip of milkshake carelessly. He laughed so hard that he cramped up, and his inner monologue burst out in excitement, winning the best in the amusement park. Zhuanzhuanel delayed the full score and assisted the 10th level of the original manuscript. My nosebleed milkshake fountain certified Brother Zhe and Zhong Lantai. Passers-by's legs were weak and they knelt down to worship the bottom of the valley, welfare celebration for successful submission and warm-up ready. He slapped Lu Zhe on the shoulder, potato chip crumbs flying, Brother Zhe. It's extremely satisfying to finally reset the 3-game losing streak. The giant beast Soul River reverses and swallows up the firework. The Iron Team's city redemption is famous. Wait a minute, the blue light of the pocket watch buzzes with red letters. Shen Qingqing's remnant party assembles. A new outline loomed in the distance of the black mist. Is the demon girl not dead? Yan Xin pushed up the fragments of the silver frame, picked up the shattered red pages of Shen Qingqing's projection, and glanced at the crowd of tourists with sweet eyes, sneering and whispering excitedly. Detective locking in the aftermath. The broken page fragments were synthesized into black market chips to upgrade my magnifying glass. All clues were opened in the underground clock tower of the organization headquarters, pretending to celebrate and deal with trivial matters. Sneaking into the remnant party's lair to optimize the route. Bai Ning tenderly clung to Lu Zhe's arms. Her cos skirt was soaked and her curves were pressed against her chest, and her face was red with tears. The inspiration burst out in a whisper. Lu Zhe hero. Qingmei Tian discovered more secrets of the clock, celebrated the victory with fireworks in the amusement park, and gently posed the manuscript to buff Eternal, and dealt with the new crisis of passers-by's admiration. Lu Zhe's inner game is like a warm sun melting ice. The blue light of his pocket watch is buzzing with steady energy. The remaining golden pages of his fingertip sketchbook are counting the final 10-layer manuscript, and he is full of sense of accomplishment in his brisk monologue. The aftermath of a complete victory soothes the peak. Li Kai, a passerby with weak legs, has always been followed and worshipped. The poster of the comic Zhonglan Amusement Park Reversal vividly shows that he has gained both fame and status. The partners have a tacit understanding of the iron top. Shen Qingqing's remnants of the black fog are looming. The new threat of black mist is looming. First, suppress the daily routine of dealing with trivial matters and suppress it. After jumping up and sneaking into the underground base, it is so exciting. The bell pattern of his masked battle suit disappeared, the steam ink sword sleeves were closed and he roared with a smile. The Iron Team has harvested the fruits of victory. Let's warm up the amusement park to celebrate, deal with the trivial matters of the Ferris wheel track breaking. Passers-by turned to disguised taxis and went straight to the underground entrance of the organization headquarters, full blast. The 4 people were surrounded by tourists and left the park. Fireworks reflected their faces. Li Kai escorted him like a sedan, his eyes widen and trembling as he shouted, Zhe Shen gets off. Let's repair the Ferris wheel track, report all the clues of the Eternal Worship Follower organization, kneel down and turn the iron roof. The lights of the taxi are swaying, the neon lights of the night market are carrying the fragrance of milk tea, the sea of lights of the city's high-rise buildings is shining brightly, and the roadside vendors are pointing and screaming. The Hero Team Entertainment instant kill poster is going viral. Zhonglan and Lu Zhe's real body is exposed as a campus legend, and the treasures of fame and status are so good. In the soothing night breeze, the taxi parked at the edge of the abandoned factory area. The entrance to the black market was hidden behind a rusty iron door. The underground clock tower of the organization headquarters resounded and hummed. Mist seeped out of the cracks in the ground, foreshadowing the gathering of the remnants. Vendors and passers-by from a distance worshipped with weak legs and then taunted and suppressed. Is it a small victory in the Hero Amusement Park? The black mist remnants of the underground base are fully activated. Zhonglan's team pretends to sneak into the bottom of the miserable valley, and the soul-eating city kneels down with weak legs and waits for death. Li Kai, the gangster, knelt down and shouted, Zhe God reported clues to us, but the remnants of the giant monster combined with superpowers, and the Iron Team destroyed the team and their legs were weak forever. Qin Feng took the lead in a funny sneak, and used the potato chip bag as a cover for the fool as he rolled the iron bucket. His nose was bruised and his face was swollen, and he complained in his heart with despair, welfare sneaks into the warmth. Zuanzwanel delays and pretends to be a hawker, my milkshake fountain is stuck with the guard mobs, Brother Zhe optimizes the route and resets it, passers-by taunts and lowers the top of the bullet ready. He threw down the rusty iron door and scattered potato chip crumbs at the guard's feet. He shouted in a low voice and delayed, Brother. Buy tickets for the amusement park fireworks celebration and organize the remnant party. Go around the Le Fuli pavilion and treat the guests to milkshakes. The guard's mini-boss smiled ferociously. The red light flashed and the soul of the potato chips rolled in his tentacles. Get out. Lord Shinqingqing's remnant party gathered in the underground clock tower. Hero Zhonglan played Shaoxing and knelt down. Yan's confidant flashes the wire chip and presses the projection. His cold eyes widen and trembles as he pushes the silver-framed fragment magnifying glass. The black market chip fuses the broken page and a coded comic emerges. The underground base's oil core's second explosion point, the lines distort reality and the iron door gear jams. She whispered sweetly and pushed the box. The detective cracked the lock. The broken page upgraded the magnifying glass prophecy route. The guard's weak point red light broke the veins, and the disguised vendor's welfare was fully optimized. Passers-by were petrified in the distance and roared in fear. Detective girl wire projection cow. The guard's tentacles were frozen and the soul was reversed, but the remnants of the underground bell tower were roaring. The hero was late to laugh. Bai Ning gently pulled Lu Zhe's hand to sneak into the shadows. Her arrogant cosplay skirt fluttered and curved seductively, providing a sketchbook inspiration prophecy. First, the pose on the first layer lures the guard mini-boss to freeze. The Trojan horse on the second layer rotates to block the soul river. The chest is tight and the red face whispers passionately, Lu Zhe. Qingmei painting predicts the buff. The gentle and sticky underground welfare tacit understanding, detects the reset of the clock and optimizes the route. The blue light of Lu Zhe's pocket watch trembles slightly, and the sketchbook flies to draw the companion auxiliary layer. Qin Feng delays the sticky potato chips, the iron wire breaks the pulse, and the Bai Ning pose bait. The inner monologue is brisk and game, the aftermath is soothing and turns into a new everyday extraordinary. The charm of the partner is at its peak, and passers-by ridicule the weak legs and the bottom is depressed. First, suppress and sneak into the mini-boss of Lin Zhan, reset and optimize, and fully activate the ammo. The first attempt to infiltrate into the gray mist distortion failed. The guard mini-boss swept the iron door with its red light tentacles and burst into pieces, spurting out hot blood. The team's soul river rolled up its legs and crawled limply. Passers-by screamed and petrified and taunted. The hero disguised himself and sneaked into the losing streak. Zhonglan's sword was shattered and turned miserable. The remnants of the underground base were soul devoured and crushed. The team was wiped out and their legs were weak and they knelt down and mocked. Qin Feng's potato chips fountain roared, Brother Zhe. The energy is stable for the second reset. I will be happy to delay the full score. Yan Xin silver frame flash wire fine-tuning, detective the second explosion of the detective vein is optimized. Bai Ninglei sticks to her chest and sticks to the pride, hero Lu Zhe. Qingmei's prophecy is reversed. The blue light is full for the second time. Lu Zhe transforms into the hero Zhonglan and bursts into the masked suit with all the bell patterns open. The steam ink sword hot fist meteor shower stabs the red light core of the small boss, but the soul river of the remnant reinforcements collapses the sword. The guard roared ferociously, small victory in the amusement park. The remnants of the party synthesized superpowers and knelt down. The third reset of his pocket watch buzzed to seal the outcome, and the time rewinded for 15 seconds. Lu Zhe's heart was filled with excitement. 3 consecutive defeats are extremely low. The final route has 5 layers of original manuscripts injected into it, Qin Feng's funny delay, verbal heartbreaking, Bai Ning's prophecy, and the heroic sword formation counterattacking the mini-boss. The golden light of the sketchbook vibrates and distorts reality. The first layer of potato chip spins and sticks to the stiff tentacles. The second layer of wire projection explodes the oil core. The third layer of Qingmei pose inspires the soul river to flow backward. The fourth layer of bell blue ink sword rolls with heat. The fifth layer of black market chips fuses to lock the remnant party's veins. The mini-boss's tentacles evaporate and waves of fire rise into the sky. The red light flashes and roars, retreating and shattering. The underground iron door rumbles open and the bell tower is exposed with a low whistle. Qin Feng's potato chips exploded into the sticky reinforcements, and he shouted in a funny voice, full marks for assists. Sneak into the continuous battle and kill instantly. The remnants of the mini-boss have weak legs and kneel down while I spin. The charm of the team is the best in the book. Frame, the detective route is optimized and locked, the core of the underground clock tower is close. Bai Ning poses gently to protect the body, and the Cos skirt's aura buff explodes. Qingmei's sweet prophecy buff, Lu Zhe's hero resets the eternal tacit understanding. Li Kai, a passerby hawker, rushed over, eyes the bead-like protuberance turned into a frenzy of admiration, and he knelt down and shouted. The Zaitian Iron team sneaked into the Qingmei. 3 consecutive resets to suppress the bomb top are the best. The guarding mini-boss instantly exploded and the remaining party was defeated. All the black market chips, treasures of fame and status, were collected to worship for eternal life. The 4 of them went deep into the underground base, and the walls were damp. The red light flashed in the veins, the remains of the clock tower were scattered, and the fragments were piled up like mountains. The smelly air was mixed with whispers, and the remnant guards in the distance ran away with weak legs and screamed. Hero Zhong Lan fought to optimize the route. The organization headquarters collapsed, and Shenqingqing's remnants turned to the bottom of the miserable valley and fell to their knees. As he soothed and deepened, Lu Zhe took stock of the harvest in his sketchbook. Broken page fragments were combined into the ultimate treasure to upgrade the power of his pocket watch. His famous poster went viral on campus and he was the leader of the Iron Squad, and his friends complained and celebrated briskly. Qin Feng picked up the chip and potato chips and laughed. Brother Zhe. The underground trivial matters are completed, the remnants of the gang are easily trampled, and the inspiration for the sequel is bursting. Wait, the outline of the black mist is blooming deep in the clock tower. The afterimage projection of Shenqingqing activates the ultimate artifact, the red light explodes, and the city's high-rise buildings are fully activated. Yan Xin's wire scan, with a cold face and a trembling face, pushed the frame. Detective prediction. The ultimate artifact is combined into the ultimate form of eternal loop, and the city is counting down. Bai Ning clung to Lu Zhe's waist and cried proudly, Lu Zhe. Qingmei's gentle buff is afraid. Are you preparing for the ultimate showdown? The remnant party's projection distorted and wailed. Sir Shenqingqing is activated. The underground clock tower roared, and the black mist shot into the sky into the center of the city. Deep in the underground bell tower, the damp walls wriggled like living things, the red leaves piled up into decaying mountains, the rotten air condensed into black mist that strangled the lungs, the iron bones of the remains of the bell tower twisted and groaned, and the shadow of Shenqingqing appeared in a distorted and clear shadow. The cold and sinister smile on Chun's face was magnified 10 times. The core of the red crystal bell tower of the ultimate artifact flashed with blood. The black mist of the Soul River shot out of the cracks in the sky and pierced the sea of high-rise buildings in the city. The ground rumbled and the glass shattered and rain fell. Passers-by on the street in the distance screamed and petrified and fell to their knees. His eyes bulged out and he roared with fear. Shenqingqing's remnant party's ultimate artifact is activated. Zhong Lanti's team was tragically destroyed underground, the city's Soul 8 collapsed, its legs were weak and it was on its knees, and it was useless, and the small victory in the Hero amusement park turned into the abyss of despair forever. Li Kai led his younger brother to wander far away. Rushing forward, the knees that were supposed to be worshipped hit the ground and nosebleeds flowed from the nose. The ferocious smile turned into despair and trembled. Zaitian reported that the clues were late. The ultimate red crystal eternal circle crushes in the ultimate form, and the remnant Soul River is organized to bite the whole city. Our legs are weak and we will always kneel and wait for death. Qin Feng's bag of potato chips exploded, the fountain collapsed, his nose was bruised and his face was swollen, he held his head and screamed in despair, and his inner monologue was cramped and collapsed. The peak turns to the bottom and it explodes. Xuanzhuano's procrastination was full of potato chips with red crystals ineffective. My nosebleed in the milkshake fountain proved Zige's crisis. Passerby Li Kai's legs were weak and he taunted that he couldn't move. The ultimate artifact, the black mist outline, was in full bloom. The team was wiped out to warm up. He pounced on the pile of iron wire scraps, and the tentacles of the potato chip sticky Soul River froze for half a second. The remaining members of the grinning guards pounced with their tentacles curled up around their waists, spurting out hot blood. Go away, clown. The afterimage of Lord Qingmei, the red crystal bell tower, will circle forever. Hero Zhonglan resets 3 times in a row to crush the valley and lose instantly. The whole city's legs are weak and it's useless. Yan Xin pushed the silver frame fragment with a cold face and a pale face. The black market chip merged with the wire magnifying glass to project the second explosive oil core to lock the vein, but the red crystal backfired and shattered. His sweet and sharp eyes widened and he whispered in excitement. Collapse, the detective predicts that the lock has failed. The fragments of the ultimate artifact synthesis are infinitely regenerated, the underground veins are fully opened, the Soul River is reversed, and the city high-rise building has a 3-minute countdown to collapse. Bai Ning clings to Lu Zhe's waist tenderly, the cos skirt is soaked, the curves are heaving, the chest is tight, the face is red and tear-stained, the arrogant collapse, holding the sketchbook, the hand is trembling and the inspiration breaks. Lu Zhe hero. Qingmei's sweet buff is extremely scary, the tender pose prophecy original manuscript is broken, and the clock reset energy is bitten by the red light. We will destroy the ultimate crisis. Lu Zhe's inner game was like an ice cave abyss. The blue light of his pocket watch was humming weakly and the red text flashed, 30 seconds to the final reset. His fingertip sketchbook trembled and he drew an initial 6-layer trial draft. His brisk monologue turned into despairing complaints and was full of depression. The aftermath of victory turned into the ultimate bottom. Li Kai, a passerby at the peak of his partner's charm, ridiculed his weak legs and kneeled down. Shen Qingqing's residual image, the red crystal, eternally circled the ultimate form, and the soul ate the city. He first suppressed the losing streak and crushed the explosion, and reset and optimized the bomb to top the ultimate manuscript. But the risk of being permanently stuck in the circle when the energy is exhausted, exposing the identity of the hero, Iron Team Eternal. The bell pattern on his mask was faint, and the steam ink sword and the meteor shower pierced the red crystal core, but the black mist Soul River backfired and the sword collapsed and hot blood spurted to the ground, and the team's souls pulled their legs and crawled limply. The remnant party's projection distorted and wailed and turned into a sinister smile. Hero Zhonglan sneaked into the losing streak. The reputation of the amusement park submission poster turned to ridicule, the ultimate artifact's red light was fully activated, the city collapsed, and the Iron Team's legs were weak and they knelt forever. The first final reset of the blue light burst was lost. Defeated, the time was rewinded for 10 seconds and the red crystal regenerated more vigorously. Black mist spread and the high-rise buildings in the center of the city tilted. Passers-by screamed and worshipped in fear. The hero has been defeated 3 times in a row. Shen Qingqing's remnant party was crushed with great power, and the Zhonglan sword soul-shattering river soul-devouring river destroyed the whole city. Qin Feng's potato chip fountain sticks to the tentacles of the reinforcements, and he shouts in a funny and desperate voice, "Brothers A. The second time I reset, I will delay the full score of Zhuanla's carrying the red crystal," and the milkshake nosebleed warms up the scene and destroys the group. The fine-tuned projection of the remaining iron wire fragments of Yan Xian's heart makes it cool and trembling. Pushing the frame is sweet and collapses. Detective 2 explosion oil core locks the context and optimizes it, and the fragmented page chip fuses with infinite regeneration. Bai Ning sticks to her chest and Sundra whispers passionately, "Lu Zhe." Qingmei predicted a sweet reversal of the 6-layer inspiration buff, gentle and sticky the eternal tacit understanding of the waist top. The pocket watch buzzed for the second time, Lu Zhe transformed into Zhonglan and burst into full force. The golden light of the sketchbook jumped into the partner's assistance. Qin Feng potato chips turned around the Lunianhan River, Yan Xian iron wire broke the red light, Bai Ning posed the inspiration of the Pi temptation goes back, and the 7-layer heat wave of the steam ink sword pierces the core, but the afterimage of Shen Qingqing is enlarged with a pure and cold smile, the red crystal eternal circle ultimate form. The outline of the black mist transforms into a monster, the soul-eating. Rewind team's hot-blooded spray sword formation collapses. Passers-by in the distance, little brother Li Kai smashed his knees to the ground and screamed with tears in his eyes and taunted, Team Iron Team's defeat is the ultimate. The ultimate artifact, the giant beast Soul River, devours the whole city, and hero Zhong Lan's reputation as a contributor has been forever ridiculed and his legs are weak and he kneels down in despair. The blue light was reset for the third time, and the time was rewinded for 20 seconds. Lu Zhe's heart was filled with joy. The 10th level of the final manuscript is fully injected, the risk of exposing one's identity is exchanged for the eternity of the city, and the leader of the Iron Squad, bound by partners, grows in fame, status and treasures and collects 4 treasures. The sketchbook shines brightly like the exploding sun, and the final 10 layers of manuscripts appear in distorted reality. The first layer is Qin Feng's funny potato chips, Zuanzwanel, infinite delay, Soul River, stagnant fountain, milkshake, nosebleed and sticky crystals. The second layer is the confidence black wire, black market chip fragments, fusion projection and 10 explosive oils. The core veins are fully locked and the red light is broken. The third layer is Bai Ning's gentle and arrogant cost skirt pose inspiration. The green plum buff explodes, the Trojan horse is spinning, the countercurrent behemoth is black mist. The fourth layer is Li Kai's gangster boy's legs are soft and worships the charging report clues. The iron powder shield warms up. The fifth layer passers-by tourists worship the tide. Scream posters come to life, contribute, reputation buff, status iron. Top, 6th level steam ink sword hot fist meteor shower bell pattern fully open to pierce the core of eternal loop. 7th level pocket watch blue light energy replenishes and buzzes, final reset and optimization infinite loop. 8th level detective amplification the mirror is upgraded with a silver frame, sharp and sweet, predicting the afterimage of Shenqingqing, the weakness of purity and coldness, the collapse. The 9th level organization's remnant guard small boss is instantly killed. His legs are weak and his soul is shattered. The 10th level Zhonglan hero's real body, Lu Zhe, is exposed in his masked battle suit, hiding the smile of a high school cartoonist. The core of the red crystal clock tower evaporated, and the fire wave shot up into the sky. The soul river of the black mist beast reversed and the outline collapsed. Shenqingqing's afterimage was distorted and wailing. His pure face was grinning ferociously and the red light flashed randomly, impossible. Zhong Lan's final 10th level manuscript is against the sky. The remnants of the party were defeated and regretted kneeling down. They will be reincarnated forever. The soul-devouring soul in the extreme form failed, and the city's salvation legs will be weak forever. The ultimate artifact red crystal exploded and fragments fell like snow and piled up into mountains. The underground bell tower collapsed and the damp walls withered. The black mist of the Soul River dissipated and the earth's roar stopped. The sea of lights on the city's high-rise buildings stabilized and the neon lights returned. Passers-by standing up from trembling knees, eyes wide open in fear, he knelt down in admiration and shouted, Zhong Lanti's team's ultimate manuscript power. 3 consecutive resets to crush the top of the valley are the most satisfying. Shenqingqing's remnant party was instantly defeated and regretted. The city's soul saver worships the eternal deification and the pinnacle submission poster is vividly spread throughout the city. Li Kai the little gangster had snot and tears running down his face, his legs were weak, he was laughing ferociously, and he was worshipping and yelling. Zhe Shen exposed his true identity, the high school cartoonist is invincible. The ultimate 10-level reversal certification, Zhong Lan, Iron Buddy, the remnants will always kneel down, our legs will be weak and will always follow the iron top, all the clues will be claimed, status and treasures will be collected. Qin Feng's nose was bruised and his face was swollen, picking up potato chip crumbs from the scraps of the page. He squirted the last sip of milkshake in a silly manner, making his voice crack with laughter and cramps. His inner monologue collapsed and reached its climax, the ultimate victory is the best. Zuanzwanel delayed the 10th level of perfect assists, my nosebleed milkshake fountain certified Brother Zhe to reveal the true identity of the hero, Iron Buddy. Passers-by's legs were weak and they knelt down to worship the loser and his reputation exploded. The poster of the submitted sequel, Zhong Lan's final reversal, was widely circulated throughout the city, ready for eternity. He slapped Lu Zhe on the shoulder and the potato chips were flying. His eyes bulged and trembled, and he shouted in admiration, "Brother Zhe, Zhong Lan, is a real high school student and a cartoonist." The 3 consecutive series finally reset the bottom of the valley. The Iron Team partners bonded and grew into leaders. Qingmei's remaining party Soul River shattered us. Legs are so weak that I will always kneel down to celebrate. Yan Xin He Linyan pushed up the new fusion silver frame, and the black market chip fragments were upgraded to a magnifying glass to project the ultimate context. Her eyes were sweet and sharp, widened and trembling excitedly as she pushed the frame and whispered, "The detective has locked the aftermath for eternity." The wire chip the 10 explosion optimization route reveals the peak of the tacit understanding of the hero's identity. The underground clock tower of the organization headquarters is completely destroyed, the city's peace reputation poster goes viral, and sweet allies will always follow. Bai Ning tenderly clings to Lu Zhe's arms, the curves of the COS skirt stick to her chest, her red face is tear-stained, and she whispers with passion, the true identity of Lu Zhe's hero. Qingmei sweetly realizes that the secret of the clock is fully opened, the 10-layer original manuscript buff is eternal in the gentle pose, the peak of the team's growth bond, and the new daily non-daily welfare celebration. The warm sun in Lu Zhe's heart is full of achievements in the ice-melting game. The blue light of his pocket watch is always buzzing with stable energy. The golden light of his fingertip sketchbook is used to synthesize new treasures from the remaining pages of the final 10-layer manuscript. The bell pattern of the masked battle suit disappears to reveal the smile of a high school cartoonist. He talks about growth and releases in a brisk monologue, the final circle reverses the crisis and wins the pinnacle. Repeated resets are extremely satisfying, revealing the organization's conspiracy to save the city and revealing the hero's identity. Partner Qin Feng makes funny assists, Yan Xin is a sharp detective, Bai Qingmei is gentle, and Li Kai is an admired and loyal fan. Fame, status, treasures, and 4-year-old leaders are bound to grow, a new chapter in the campus where daily life hides the supernatural, and the world of artifacts continues to be extraordinary and ready. He growled and looked around the team with a smile, Iron Team finally reaped the fruits of victory. Qingmei's organization was completely defeated and he regretted kneeling down. The city's peace poster went viral. First, we warmed up the coffee shop to celebrate and deal with trivial matters. The admiration of passers-by changed to a new daily routine. Wait, the blue light of the pocket watch flashed with new red letters, Unknown Artifact City, Awakening on the Edge. A new silhouette loomed in the distance of the black mist, and the demonic shadow was gone. The 4 people climbed out of the ruins of the underground clock tower, the night breeze carried the scent of milk tea, and the passers-by gathered in the sedan to worship and scream, Zhong Lan and Lu Zhe's true form has become a god. The final reversal of the Iron Team will be passed down forever, and a new crisis will be at the peak of fame. The floor-to-ceiling windows of the coffee shop reflected the sweaty faces of the 4 people. The caramel latte was sweet and mixed with the fragrance of scraps of ink. Yan Xinzihai's fitting room interacted with silver frames. Bai Ning's new COS dress tenderly shared her childhood memories. She was inspired. Bai Ning clung to Lu Zhe's waist and her arrogant red face said, Lu Zhe, the hero's true identity is exposed sweetly. A clue to the new artifact of Qingmei buff? Qin Feng potato chip milkshake laughed, Brother Zhe. Finally reset the growth leader, the submitted poster for the sequel is spreading all over the city, the new black fog outlines the edge of the city, the remnants of the unknown demonic shadow organization. Zuanzwanel is ready. Brother Li Kai knelt down and yelled, Zhe Shen, we will always follow. New clues are reported, the black fog awakens in the edge of the ruins and worships. Lu Zhe's sketchbook Fei Wu drew a new original prophecy, the pocket watch buzzed with blue light, and his heart was light, the ending of the new chapter is so suspenseful. Black mist rises from the edge of the city in the distance, and the whispers of new demonic shadows echo. The team gasped for breath. Under the Ferris wheel, fireworks rekindled the sea of lights in the amusement park. Qingmei's remnant image turned into smoke and disappeared forever, echoing the desperate cry, "Hero, the circle is broken forever, I regret." Qin Feng threw milkshake on Lu Zhe's shoulder and laughed, "Brother Zhe is the best to win." The Iron Team saves the city, the clock finally resets the countdown and flashes dash, the pocket watch suddenly buzzed with blue light, and the countdown red letters appeared, Shen Qingqing gathers the remnants, and a new outline loomed in the distance of the black mist.